all the casters and stuff. We root for them.
Yeah,
None of that stuff is BS. It's
no,
really
it's
not.
True.
Like,
that's a good point.
Blitz is just a genuine dude that loves being on that team with a bunch of other genuine dudes that just enjoy playing Dota together. And they fork scrims on the day that Sumail arrives. He's going to fit right in, let me tell you that much.
Just as much as a Dota nerd as the rest, indeed. And also, obviously, great to hear that they're just backing Boxy fully. Like, no matter how well Sumail does in the squad, there's a space for him.
Sumail's getting his little resume, you know, marked up there.
Getting the sales pitches from from Coach Blitz, for sure. We have to move on to our next series, by the way. Team Liquid, obviously, great performance here with a 2-1 versus Brain. But next opponents are waiting and ready to go. We will be back with OG versus the Hellbear Smashers after this. the second upper division series of the day, the third series overall. You're watching DreamLeague Season 15, powered by Intel, and its upper division of the Western European DPC League. Of course, we're gonna have OG taking on Hellbear Smashers. I am joined on the desk by BSJ and Cap, and we're gonna try to quickly break this game down because the game is right around the corner, so don't go anywhere. There is not another break after this before the game starts, so that should be telling you enough about how close the game actually is. I want to know what you guys' initial thoughts are. Are you okay?
I don't know. I was just copying whatever Brian was doing.
He came down. He was sitting up real straight. I'm like, okay, I gotta work on my...
That's good posture.
I'm saying I gotta work on my posture.
Gamers,
I've been doing a little of this today, so I gotta...
Yeah.
I will also. I went a little bit lower intentionally, so now I feel like I got a stretch. So it's been helping my posture. Talk to me about OG's performance so far.
It's
disappointing.
Really? Why?
You go first, then I'll follow that up.
Okay, so pretty much like as an example, I put them at the very top for my predictions. I expected either Nigma or OG to come out in this second season of DPC and just be swinging. I expected one of those teams to basically be able to take the top dog away from Secret. It looks like maybe Alliance is actually the team to do that, but basically I think the second season was rife for a shakeup, and one of those two teams, I mean, they're TI caliber teams, right? They're teams that literally have won the International. I expected them to be able to come into this second season. People like to say like, oh, they only show up at TI or whatever. Well, to get to TI,
there's only one.
They need to do well here, right? So I feel like in many ways they have to be in TI form right now.
I'll be a bit biased here.
Okay.
I'm kind of rooting against OG because I'm the kind of guy who, if I play Dota 3 days a week, we were discussing this, I'm just not going to play nearly as well. And it would bother me if Anna just came back after like a year and just started dumping on people. That would bother me. So they're back to what they used to look like in terms of their style, in terms of the flair.
And you're bothered by them being so good.
And I'm bothered if they were to just come back and it looked the exact same. Like if it was just as clean as it was at TI, it was like just the perfection in terms of like
I understand that. You know, like when somebody's too good looking, too successful,
you get annoyed,
funny,
you're
like,
jealous.
You got to be a psychopath or something, dude. Like there's got to be something wrong with you. Like why is Anna allowed to do that? I can feel that. I can feel that.
A lot of people say maybe Thompson just got lucky. I believe he is going to talk to us about luck and how things are not luck, how it's also just skill. Let's see what he has to say.
This Omni quest, but look how tanky he doesn't care. He just stands there, no problem, goes right back in again. He's gonna heal up thanks to that Ink Claws. He chases on Nico Baby, rolling on through here. His socks on the Cataclysm comes in hot. Nico Baby falls, and now F4.
I started playing Dota first time when I was 8 years old. I mean, it's been what, 15 years since I played first time, but back then I didn't really play it much, just like try it here and there. But since then it's been there. Of course, there's a lot more to it than just suddenly getting into OG and getting lucky. I mean, of course, there's luck involved, the fact that it happened and stuff. But of course, there's a lot of hard work and dedication and never giving up. Then you need a little bit of luck.
Limp hops back out, trying to just get some more damage down. Hanskin falling the Limp. He needs some help, and I don't think he's going to get it as it's a double kill now.
It's pretty big in Finland, I guess. Like, not so much Dota, but I think like CSGO, I guess, like there's quite a bit of pro CSGO players, and I mean, yes, they retired from Dota, but there's still Matu, and then there's this decent talent in Finland, like even in Dota, but I'm hoping we get like another breakthrough at some point. I do a lot of sauna, yes. When I'm in Finland, yes. Events, sometimes I get once a day, but usually it's like 2-3 times per week. But yeah, I love sauna. It's the best.
All right, great to get to know Thompson a little bit more. We are also on the other side, on the Hellbear Smashers. We're going to get to know Gilgear a little bit more, and here's something about meatballs.
Still hit by the telekinesis, and Zog's like, oh god, I didn't expect that much damage. Now the Rubik's dead as well. Okay, entire team's dead.
I'm Georgios Snob, and I'm playing for Hellbear Smashers for position 4. I'm in the international team. The main reason is that I have a somewhat fluent English, I guess. Yeah, that's basically it. The thing is, when someone like Misery calls you in team and wants to try you out, you usually don't decline because like everybody knows who Misery is, and he's like rockstar player, I guess, and same as Ace. So yeah, and I knew Stormer, I knew Tofu, and I was just like, I wanted to try to play with those guys. Yeah, and it worked out. They liked me, so here I am. Oh yeah, that's like this check is that I moved from my basement in Moscow. I flew to Minsk, and now I'm living with Fishman, the guy in the 2nd division. We're living in one apartment, and it's his check. Somebody has to buy some food and stuff like this. Somebody has to cook. I tried to cook spaghetti with some meatballs, but I messed up and it all burned out. This time I'm probably gonna like try the same thing, but I'll try to not burn it.
Okay, well, did not know where that was going with the meatballs, but I guess now we learned. We're also going to learn what the two teams are going to draft, because we are in the draft of the first game of this best of 3, and I'm going to let both Cap and BSJ break it down. I believe we are a couple picks in, so there it is.
Hey, there
we go. Ooh, Invoker Bounty first, too. Look at that.
This is a Hellbear Smashes draft. I've never seen one. Stormer special.
Yeah.
And Snipe and Courier special.
Yeah, and the game where they picked Invoker first, and when they played against Team Secret, that was the game that they won. They ended up losing 2-1, but the one game that they did win, it was that first phase pick Invoker.
Feels like with the combination of stacking that you can do, sometimes very often for yourself as a mid laner, the less rotations that are happening. There's not these like constant 4 positions roaming into your lane. And then the access to having these early bottles, these early water runes, bounty runes, etc. There's so much forgiveness in the mid lane that you can just pick up Storm Spirit, Beastmaster, Invoker, Puck.
I feel like you can literally pick up anything if you've played 500 plus games on it.
Yeah.
Like, it's just at the end of the day, it's going to get a game. Heroes like TA may be a bit different just because they have very specific hard counters. But Invoker, it's like, yeah, there's some heroes that are harder to cast spells on, like the Jugs of the world, the Pucks of the world. They can use a spell that dodges your spells, but they don't like ruin his game. You know, he's gonna have a game. Last time we saw him, I doubted his ability to play Quas Wex because I'd never seen it across like all the games he'd ever picked Invoker. He always played the Quas Exhort, but he's clearly capable of doing that. It's what they beat Secret with. So they've got some flexibility in this. It's not a flex pick in terms of roles, but it is a flex pick in regards to the role he's going to play on the team. When it comes to scaling and pace and all that kind of stuff.
Like a Quas Wex build, we could see them pick up something like a Faceless Void, and they just like, okay, let's just alacrity this guy, or maybe we just go and get ourselves a lot of damage with an Exort Invoker. Bounty Hunter, I waffle back and forth on. Maybe it's just my experience playing him, but it's like, I feel so good in winning games. Like, you just rack up the golds nonstop. You're picking on couriers. You're breaking smokes. Like, the enemy team just feels like they can't do anything when you are winning on a bounty hunter. They don't have... So many of their comeback plays are just ruined by your existence.
It costs them more to kill you than it does that they get from killing you.
Yeah.
The detection and all the... Like, they have to find 3 heroes to get you, especially if you get the shard.
Yeah. But if you lose your lanes and you're on the losing side of things, well, bounty hunter doesn't usually give you anything that actually allows you to win team fights, right? Like, most of what he attributes into team fights is information and items, right?
Yeah.
He's getting so much extra gold, and everybody's getting extra gold, that you have items to be able to help you. You have a solar crest when they only have a medallion, as an example. But so yeah, I kind of waffle back and forth. I feel like it's very important to win at least one of your lanes, if not 2, with the bounty hunter.
Yeah, he seems like a hero that's very niche in that regard, not because because he is so polarizing in regards to his performance, but also it just takes very specific scenarios that enable him. I think most notably an offlaner that is independent. Timber's already getting banned out. He's like the #1 for me. Maybe a Centaur, something like that where, okay, you've got your level 3 or 4. I'm going to leave you alone and go pick on the enemy's off lane and help my carry out, or snipe some couriers in the mid lane, something like that. Because in lane, he's kind of underwhelming. You know, if I'm like a carry laning against a 4-position bounty hunter, other than yoinking me a little bit, he doesn't really do much.
So they banned away the Medusa, and we already saw the Invoker plus Faceless Void. The other combo we've seen Hellbear Smashers run with the Invoker is Wraith King, which I'm already looking at OG is a very burst-heavy lineup.
Yeah.
Their first 2 picks.
Is this a core bounty?
It's looking like it.
Yeah, because a 5 bounty is kind of bad, right?
Yeah, but is the 5 Shaman bad? Because so far it's been Gilger playing it, but I guess Gilger also plays the Shaman, but I guess also Tofu plays the Shaman.
I got to play a Poverty Shaman because I don't know how to play the hero in this patch, and playing against Pug, you just die.
Especially not knowing like what the off lane is exactly. Like already deciding both your supports does feel a little weird.
Yeah.
Especially if they are potentially weak laning supports against whatever is picked up.
So offlane Alk is still a thing in EU. I had it on my team yesterday.
I mean, did it win?
That was the game that we were down by, 5k gold at 10 minutes. So it was not good lane.
Okay.
Not a good laning stage, but we did win.
Okay.
So I'm assuming their 4th pick is either going to be Gyro or Monkey King. Those are the only 2 reasonable picks, unless their other option is just go Oracle.
Yeah.
And make this a carry Alk. I would say those are really the only 3, maybe a Baden, I guess. The 2 save 5s.
Support, yeah.
Yeah, the 2 save 5s or the 2 carries that get ag scepters fed to them.
So if you do Misery Bounty Hunter here, make that a core, then you could still get Ancient Apparition, right?
Yeah,
But
you could. But
would
then
you
your
pick it
draft,
now?
like
Your
AA
draft looks
plus
very,
what?
yeah.
It's a little forced, I think.
kind of have.
I would actually be upset if they had picked AA. I think they'd be like they'd be out drafting themselves.
Yeah, I mean Puck would own that game.
Yeah, I think Monkey King has to be the pick here. If they plan to move Alchemist to the off lane. Looks like a 5 bounty or a 5 shaman. I would assume it's 5 bounty because shaman axe sounds a lot stronger than bounty axe.
Yeah, Axe right now is pretty formidable offliner, just because he gets the battle hunger early on, and you just throw it on the opposing support, and your 4 position battles them. They can't do anything about it. They have to retreat because they're naturally taking more damage because of battle hunger, and then very quickly the lane becomes 2v1, where the enemy support he feels like he can't do anything, and then just together you harass the carry.
Axe used to have bad base stats. If you compare him to like a year and a half ago, he had like 5 less damage and 20 less move speed. And we saw with Death Prophet last patch what happens when you just give hero base stats, and that's kind of what Axe had done for him. Now, I am not a huge fan of this unless this is like a support Alk, meaning like if it's an offlane Alk with the sole purpose of feeding an Axe to somebody. I don't like Slark with it because Axe does not enable Slark to farm faster. It makes him a stronger fighter, which is great and all, but pretty much every carry in the game with a free Axe can fight. So I usually prefer the ones that accelerate their carry to get more and more items. So I don't know. I think Slark's nice against Bounty Shaman. It's not amazing against Axe because the call is not purgeable by Dark Pact.
Yeah, if anything, if he catches you right as you pop Dark Pact, farming a creep wave or something, he catches you with a blink blade mail, then you're gonna...
It's gone a bit better because they gave Slark the level 15 lifesteal talent, so you take that every time you're against Axe, then you also build SNY, which amps up the lifesteal talent, gives you some status resistance. In the past, there was absolutely no play. Slark was hard countered by Axe. Now it's kind of like whoever's ahead really is fine.
Well, for Hellbear Smashers, this is also probably quite the question mark because all 4 heroes on the side of OG, they have not played yet this season. So there's not a lot of information to go off of, considering, I guess with Ana back, it changes up your heroes as well.
This is the perfect type of game for Slark, now that I think about it. Slark hates 5-manning. He hates it. He never wants to be in team fights like all these games we've been seeing so far, where it's just straight up, balling down lanes at 9 minutes into the games. There is absolutely 0 team fight on like both these teams. There's like some AoE spells, like the Coil and Invoker spells, but there's no like Mars, Tide, Phoenix, that kind of stuff.
Is it still something you want to see on the teams, or are you okay without it?
I think OG is very okay with it so far. I think Hellbear Smashers needs to give themselves either a strong independent carry like the Ace Wraith King, which allows them to constantly make moves on their own terms, or to give themselves like the Faceless Void that was already banned out. Bloodseeker would be a perfect example. The hero that just says, F you, Slark. You can't Dark Pact and ult away from this. Chrono Rupture. Thinking of what else is
Chrono
left in the
Rupture,
pool.
both banned.
Yes.
Sure.
Thinking of what else is in the game. PL's already banned. That's a great matchup against Slark. Maybe they'll go.
You know what? There has been a Division 2 team that has tried Bounty Hunter out as a carry.
It owned. Absolutely owned.
No, didn't.
I know. I was hoping the Gork fans would get hyped out there.
Oh, you know, a lot of people that are watching right now might not be watching Division 2, so they might not have known who you were talking about.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, then they're casual Gork fans, and they don't deserve his
True.
acknowledgement of their presence.
True. But is there a chance that Hellbear Smashers will try that out? Because that would allow them to...
Last pick a 5 position. I don't
that
think
can
so.
save against Slark?
I'm gonna shut that down because you're
Okay.
wasting your last pick.
Okay.
Oh, I thought you were about to say she's like wasting her breath or something.
Yeah, don't
I was
waste
like-
your
I
breath.
was like-
Sheeter.
I was
Don't
like,
even
dang.
try.
Talking.
I was like, damn.
All right, we got
Jesus,
the Elder
Brian.
Titan as
That's
back.
why
I'm that-
I thought you were getting real hostile.
No,
there.
I'm that mean to you, not to Sheep.
Okay, fair enough.
Hey, OG is going for support last ban, or last pick rather. If you're able to believe Hellbear Smashers, they are banning out supports.
Yeah. No, I think this is offlane Alk with a 4 Lion, and they're just looking for their no-tail hero, I presume. And they ban away some of the better heroes to either work with Puck or Slark. Can't believe Grimstroke was in here still, but...
What lanes against Alk Lion, that's left in the pool? They do go for the Oracle.
Different
I mean,
team, but I'll take it. It was my call. Yay.
still gives you the... Like, it still gives you the nice
They were
Oracle
denied
Alk,
picking
but
Sheep, they knew it was coming on 10.
Slark
Go
is
ahead.
incredible with Oracle as well, right? So
Yeah.
that's nice.
I mean, you mentioned
I mean,
it
they're
earlier
all
as well,
buffing
Brian.
up, like, this
Yeah.
one hero.
I mentioned it for OG because I thought they'd pick it if Alk was going to be a carry.
Yes.
So I was also somewhat wrong there because they put Slark carry. But what is the plan here? Long fights.
Wait. How big is the chance that Alk was mid and Puck offlane? No.
Nah, I think
Nah.
you need some space maker here. I think
Okay.
Alk mid's like way too greedy. Because then you got like a Puck who's supposed to carry you through the first 15 minutes from the off lane. I don't think that's possible.
All right, well,
Rasmus is pretty good at Dota. Or not Rasmus, excuse me. Seb.
well, Rasmus is also. There will be a Ricky last pick. You happy? Not happy? Is there some silence
The problem
and
I have
question
with
marks?
Ricky here is I feel like in the safe lane, like Alk is a weak laner, right? He can be. He can be punished. I feel like he's going to lay down acid spray, and there's nothing Bounty Hunter and Ricky can do about that.
Yeah.
Like, they're just going to impale the Ricky if he ever tries to go on the Alk, and so that means this Alk's going to get a really early Ag Scepter, then he's going to get the Solar Crest, then he's going to get the Ag Shard, and I think Slark can 1v5 this game when given those items.
Yeah, the thing about this matchup for Riki is that they can go both ways. So you need to start with having a strong laning phase, and I'm just not sure if he's actually going to be able to have that because they're weird Bounty Hunter and Shadow Shaman support combo. Because I assume this Bounty Hunter is going to be with the Riki.
Yeah, momentum
Think
game, and I
so.
think they're going to get that Alk Ags at like 12 minutes, and OG's just going to take it from there.
Yeah, they're gonna Bounty Hunter 5. Would you like? Do they have a better shot if they put the Bounty Hunter on the offlane together with the Axe? Like, is that a better?
Because you want to pressure that Slark with the Shadow Shaman.
I think
That's
Axe
like-
Shaman's the better lane.
Yeah, Axe is hugely enabled by having 4 ranged 4s,
Okay.
not melees.
All right, so that lane has to pop off. Like that Axe
Yeah.
Shaman, if that doesn't do well,
Early Vanguard,
toast.
run down the Slark constantly.
All right, well, the game plan is clear for the squads. Let's find out who's going to take this first one of the best of 3. We're heading over to Moxie in Fogged.
Thank you so much, Shiver. And we get a little bit of a treat here. We get a Ricky picked up.
do.
Usually we see that over on, of course, Thompson. He's been trying to make that work in some of his games, but this time we're going to see Ace. And it sounds like the situation is going to come down to who can snowball first, coming out from either team.
Yeah, I gotta be honest, I'm a little worried for the Hellbear Smashers. I'm seeing some limited damage coming out from their lineup just across the board. If you just look at what the heroes, how the heroes are going to be able to scale, Ricky takes a long time to get online to be really dishing out that damage. Stormstormer has actually kind of changed it up. In his past, he's only gone Exort. This season, he's actually completely changed. He's gone Quaswex the last 2 games I saw him play Invoker, which also is going to cause some damage issues as well. So I really do agree with the panel. I think Rasmus has to dominate. Like, this Axe has to completely take over top, swing around, and just help out pretty much every lane. Because I think this Alchemist, he's going to get his Ags online at a pretty good timing. And then I don't know how they kill this Slark. The two supports they can't threaten Slark almost at all. If he shadow dances, they have no damage or anything that actually hurts that Slark. It's just a Cloud, Axe, and the Invoker.
Did they fall into a little bit of a trap, right? Because, the Alchemist did get picked up and they had the Bounty Hunter, perhaps thinking that, they'd be able to really poke away, unaware of the fact that they were going to put the Alchemist in that off lane.
I think they fell to like a couple traps, perhaps, because they wanted an instant disable as well for the puck. That's why they grabbed Shadow Shaman, because Lion's already taken. However, they just revealed their two supports, right? The Bounty and the Shadow Shaman, which just opened up the draft, I feel like, for OG to go for a hero like Slark that, if I was playing Slark and you see Shadow Shaman Bounty supports, you have no care in this game at all. They have no ground target spells that can actually bother you. Track, you can dispel. If the Shaman gets a jump on you, sure, it can be a little annoying, but for the most part, Slark should be able to see the Shaman coming.
All right, so it's all about Rasmus and his positioning and the initiation coming out for the side of Hellbear Smashers. But I think, he's had pretty good positioning in the past, right? We've seen him play quite a bit of Enigma in the past DPC season as well. It always seems like he was in the right place, right time.
Yeah, he's been impressive too, with his Axe and stuff. These two have been very strong. And this lane can't dominate. Versus a Slark, it's not the easiest matchup. They do at least have Oracle. I think that's one that can maybe change the matchup because he can just dispel hunger. But yeah, these two, it's going to be the key for Smashers.
I think it's also going to be very important that they can get onto that back line and try to deal with No Tail. And they do, for all the that we say that they have a bit of a weaker sort of lineup with that Bounty Hunter, that is a hero that can sneak into the back lines, along with the Riki too.
Absolutely, yeah. These two, they could trip stuff up. Like Riki versus Slark, also the Cloud is always something we do have to pay attention for. And Cloud versus Puck, that's why they grabbed it, right? It does have those clear indications of why it's good. It's just if they can actually get it off the bark before OG is just online, because they're going to get online so quick with this Alk, it looks like he's going to have a pretty free lane. It's double melee. They can't actually slow down an Alchemist.
And you can see the amount of damage that Tofu was already taken just from approaching that creep wave and trying to put out the harass. So it's going to be a little bit rough here coming out for the side of Hellbears. But OG probably going to have themselves a very nice time down in the bottom lane.
Yeah, and it's honestly, Bounty and Riki as melee heroes, they're quite good versus Acid Spray, but they're melee heroes, so it's going to be painful anyway. Even though they are 7 armor heroes, they don't get hurt as much from the reduction. They're melee, and there's a Lion behind, so he just uses it that much stronger. Mid, just watching a bit of trades here.
Yeah, casual tornado tossed out. How active are we going to see Stormstormer? Because in the past, we've seen him be pretty, I don't want to say sedentary, but he doesn't really move around that much. Does he have to be more active now with the way that this patch is working?
Yeah, and I think that's why we're seeing him transition to Quas Wex. That last season, he only went Exort. I think his whole career, he's really mostly played Exort in 90% of the games. I think, it's because of that reasoning that he's going to have to make much more moves around the map. And I feel like, you have to versus Puck. This is not an easy lane for an Invoker.
No, and it's definitely one of the heroes that, the Puck Dream Call does have a very low cooldown. He's going to be very active, and if he gets any sort of rune of opportunity, he is going to be making rotations and causing problems. But Stormstormer will rotate and pick up the water runes here. Puck does have his bottle as well, but already gotten all those water runes.
Yeah, he's got to deny them out. There's no way to force the wave in as an Invoker always. So you just see Topson, he's just pushing the wave in onto him. Invoker has to use Tornado to secure those range creeps. Otherwise, he's going to get them denied. It's just it's a tough matchup, just always.
Well, he's trying his best here right now. Currently, Puck's sitting at 15-3, and the Invoker 11-2. And Tofu has to be careful. He's taking a lot of harass here, but he is, of course, making a little bit of space for Ace to be able to approach the creep wave, because this is rough down here.
Yeah, it is. At least he's getting a little bit of farm. He's getting all these wand charges on the Riki. He's not getting pressured himself, but he's not slowing down Alchemist. And whenever you see that offlane Alchemist, if you're not killing him, that means you're heavily losing the efficiency game. They're just getting way more gold on the map than you are, just even off of this early start.
I mean, I suppose on the flip side, right, so the Alchemist is having a great time in his lane, but also, up here in the top lane, Rasmus is getting his CS. He seems to be doing fairly well. Is that enough to kind of offset, or is it just because it's an Alchemist by nature? He is, of course, going to, accelerate faster, that it's still a really big problem here.
They need to get some kills up top, and they will now find a grab at least onto No Tail. Don't have the follow-up call, but they do have some good damage.
They might be able to. Can they get the deny? No. Gilgrim will secure the first blood.
So yeah, to answer, it's good that Rasmus is doing this. It's good that he's slowing down the Slark, but they need to get kills. They need to threaten up here. So that's a great move for them right now.
You can see Stormstormer picked up some of those raindrops on his Invoker as well, expecting a lot of magical harass, of course. Bottom lane, a little bit of pressure here onto Seb. Probably not as much as they'd like, but Ace is going to be able to hit those creeps.
Yeah, they're just throwing out some slight harassment. I see that Ace is going for early items. He's just going for Orbital Corrosion, so they do want to try to push this Alchemist out pretty soon. They don't want him just be sitting down here. I'm checking to see if there's any stacks at the ready. I thought maybe Saksa would have been backing up to do that, but not just yet.
We have one stack over on the side of Hellbears.
Yeah.
That one over there, it's already been cleared out, but, you know, that's still very helpful for Rasmus. Bottom lane, a couple trades, a couple little hits here. Again, no hard committals just yet. Everybody seems to want to just sit back and ensure that they can get their farm on.
Rasmus is starting to get to the point where he really wants to bully as much as possible. Vanguard's almost up. So Vanguard, and then I feel like maybe even like cut creep waves, start just really looking to pressure, take tower as best as possible. Because you need to get an advantage in this game pretty early on. You don't want this Alchemist Slark just starting to do Alchemist things. Because even if it's an offlane Alchemist, it's a different type of Alchemist game. I know the whole Cinderin saying, but Seb
Sure. Yeah.
steps up a bit far.
Just a little bit here. They should be able to get the taunt off, and that's another kill that they will collect here in the top lane. They're doing exactly what you said that they needed to do, but Seb in the bottom lane taking a lot of harass. Saksa also having some difficulties here. They should be able to clean up. Maybe one more hit trick straight come out. Oh, no, he's going to be able to
so
survive.
close.
He's got a salve as well.
Wow, that was so close. A nice aggressive move, though, from the two of them. They just walk up and start hitting. Whenever the line walks away, they start hitting that Alchemist. Same thing top, we see that opportunity taken. And yeah, Vanguard is online. So Rasmus, he's pretty safe up here now. He probably can't die to the two of them almost at all. So should maybe even open up the map for Gilger to start looking for these runes and not let Thompson get every single one of them.
Do have quite a few.
And he will get top.
Denies over on Thompson, but with this Invis Rune, perhaps they can make something up. They do have the sentry over up on the high ground to the side, but...
Yeah, he's level 2 shackles. Not a point in the hex just yet, but if he's able to at least connect with the shackle, that could have gotten a kill onto Thompson. But yeah, he's gonna go ahead back top and maybe look for Ana here.
Do they have the amount of damage necessary though? They do have that invis. Call comes out from Rasmus.
They saw him,
quite
though.
able to grab.
They
they do
did
have
an
the
off sentry, so
the sentry
yeah.
off the side.
Ana will play probably more careful then because of that.
Yeah, you can see him.
Notel is also, he's swinging also around mid. I think he's probably expecting the shaman either mid or top, so he's just playing between the two a little bit here.
Yeah, look at this. They immediately realize, okay, they knew that we were coming. We have to take these down now.
Great D-ward. Rasmus getting some great tower damage, also applying pressure to Ana. This is good. This is a good start for them. They got to keep looking to get. I want them to like really push forward to get this top tower so they can force the Slark out of lane. Because Rasmus, what he ideally wants to do is you get this top tower and then you swing and make a rotation in mid, and you can try to at least pressure the mid tower too to open up the map for yourself, so your Bounty, your Ricky can all get all the information they want.
They're gonna get a snipe on the courier here.
Very nice.
So that's gotta feel nice going over for Gilgear. My question to you is, how important is it that they get this Blink Dagger online? Right? We've got the Vanguard already online, but we do need some sort of initiation. We need the jump onto the Slark, right?
Yeah, it's huge. He definitely needs to get like Boots Blink as fast as possible this game.
This is a good rotation here coming out from Stormstormer. We talked about slowing down this Alchemist. They should be able to do it. Ace gets himself that kill.
Why prolong the inevitable?
Great early movement coming out from Stormstormer. Yeah, just move around as much as possible, especially when they're not setting up to push mid. He doesn't have to worry about actually losing the tower probably either, because there's no catapult or anything at this time period. Runes, Gilger again checking it.
Use the Hex, picks it up. It's the Arcane Rune. Thompson would have liked that, but of course No Tail is nearby, so they'll be able to root hold into place. Saksa going down the bottom lane, but it looks like they should be able to eventually click down Gilgear.
So this rotation from Stormstormer, though, netting 2 kills, and they only get the 1 trade up top here on OG. This is good moves from Smashers.
This is the plays that they need to be making. Can they keep up the momentum, though, is the real question.
That really is going to be it. That's why we say like, Rasmus has to. I'm gonna keep checking to see if they have more stacks for this axe just to get him that early blink dagger. They do have 1, but I want to see like either applying pressure on top or just getting that blink early as possible for Rasmus to look for constant kills.
I mean, he's definitely look at these spins. Oof. He's definitely putting the pressure down. That's exactly what we want to be seeing. OG though making just a couple more stacks over here. The chip vest also getting found is always very, very nice for these melee cores to pick up. And the shovel as well for an alchemist. I mean, that's pretty nice.
Oh. Shovel for alchemist with an oracle on your team. Yeah, the dream. Some nice free mangoes, salves, etc. That's component number 1, probably finished up very soon for the Alchemist, and they're making an aggressive move.
Yeah, they
Nice
smoked up for
invasive
this.
play.
They'll find Seb hidden over in the jungle. They're just going to burn out all of the mana, get a couple clicks off. They've got those shackles in place. And yeah, he's pretty tanky, but at the end of the day, he will eventually fall. Going over to Gilger.
Love it. Great move. With that ward that they placed from earlier from Gilger, they immediately make the heads-up swing, and they're even going to get a fast D ward. That was just placed out from OG.
That always feels bad as a support when your wards immediately get ripped down. But they do have a smoke coming out now from the side of OG. There's a lot of pressure being placed over here on Ana in this top lane. So they're hoping perhaps they can get the jump. Tofu off on the
Gotta
side.
be careful to not stand together for the coil. These two cores on Smashers right now.
I mean, they do spot out Tofu here on the side, so should be able to go burst him down. It's a nice quick pick off here for Thompson as they keep looking. They do manage the coil and it lands over onto 2. They'll be able to burn down Gilger. And you do have the Ricky here over on the side. Rasmus gets a nice call off. He needs a little bit more damage to finish them off, though. They'll use the Oracle ultimate to try to keep Thompson alive, but No Tail will eventually fall. And the Smashers are just running after them here. Rasmus still trying to get his hands over here on Seb with Ace right behind them. The backstrats they go and they immediately just place them right underneath them. Now the follow-up
Stun
with
connects.
the Impale. Hop forward here coming out from Ana. Can they take down Ace? Yes, they can. As now Rasmus, he's hexed up. He was hoping he could find something else. Stormstormer's here, though. So is Tofu. They've got the track off. They can spot Ana over here on the side. Do they try to make the play? They're going to try with the EMP Tornado. Another hit. Down will go Ana. More teleports coming out. They're still wanting to skirmish here.
Filling Thompson bottle so he can keep his presence up top to look for the fight. Rasmus,
Another
he's still very
track.
tanky.
They get the hex off immediately. Follow with the shackles. Good hit here from Sax to just buy them a little bit more time. Save Thompson. No Tail's healing him up over on the back lines.
I love the 5v5s in the top lane at the 10-minute mark. It's my favorite part of Dota.
And it just keeps happening too, you know? They just won't stop. So they've got those Serpent Wards down over on the tower. They've got plenty of tracks out. They're going to try to purge it off. Followed up, though, with another Tornado EMP. Spike landing over onto 2. Nice play here by Saxa. Buys them a little bit of time to run away. But Tofu still finds himself Thompson over here. He should be able to just orb away. But the aggression now is so real coming out from the side of Hellbear Smashers. And it's exactly what you want to see.
Absolutely, just bringing the fight to them. Rasmus almost has Blink done now off of this. He didn't end up dying. He actually stayed alive during the whole thing. So his timing will be good, and they can continue to make this aggressive move. Now they can sandwich mid. They took that top tower. Now they have a lot more openness as OG. You know, the greed. It is a very greedy draft, so they know that they can fight versus this on Smashers. Yeah, Rasmus is going to have Blink done. So it's going to be really nice for that. Stormer, he's got good levels too. He's level 9.
Yeah,
Good stuff so far.
has got to pop off here, but with that early Blink dagger. That'd be nice. Ace and Ana here duking it out in the bottom lane. Tofu gets a nice snipe on the courier. It's coming back, so it wasn't carrying anything, I believe. But there it is. There's the blink for the axe. And now things get a little bit scarier for the side of OG.
Look how fast he's TPing too. Rasmus is already expecting a play to happen bottom. He TPs, sends his courier already preemptively to himself on the tier 2, grabs the blink. He's going to look for a swing over to help out Ace. They know that this is the next move that OG wants to play around.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
It's running over to actually meet Stormer, it looks like. And they're going to smoke up.
Yeah, they're going to try to make a pinstring move. They're just going to mix Thompson over here. They're still making their way. They know Ana's down here. No Tail. Tofu. They have the dust, though. They're going to try to make a play. Jump over onto Tofu. They'll be able to root him into place. They're trying to get this follow-up here. Nice call. Here's coming up from Rasmus. He's able to just blow up Ana. And now Ace, he's hungry. He finds himself No Tail. Tricks the tray, get dropped. And they use the Dream Coil over on the back lines. Tofu goes down. Nice Earth Spike here from Saxa. We'll buy him just a little bit more time. And he's trying to juke around in the trees. It looks like they haven't quite found him. They're still trying to hunt. And eventually, though, Rasmus will find him with the dunk. And look at this. Beautiful here. Gilger drops those Serpent Wards. And they can press on with another objective.
Great moves coming out, just looking for, seizing the opportunity of targets, and now he even finds an Ancient stack too. Rasmus on point with his moves, 3-0-4. This is really good right now for Smashers. They're really bringing that pressure to this greed of OG. Mid tower, they get the deny.
Thompson going to be able to make it out here, though? He does have the Waning Rift. He's all tracked up, though. They've got a lot of damage here. I'm not sure if he's going to make it out alive. Does have that other orb, though. Looks like he's going to be able to survive. Oh, never mind! Rasmus from behind enemy lines. Acts like that,
that's gotta
indeed.
feel good.
Oof.
That one has to feel, I want to see, let me see Rasmus's camera. Did he pop off and all with that? That one had to have been a good one.
Dire's structures.
I love when you get those type of swing arounds. And now it's no puck, so immediately swinging to mid with all 5 heroes, or 4. they can now also look to take down this tower. They're really punishing that greed. Seb, he's about to have the Ags done. So it's going to enable quite a bit of a power spike here for OG, especially for that Slark who's feeling kind of weak. That's going to change him a lot.
This efficiency just looks so incredibly good. Tornado over here, over onto Ana. He's going to immediately leash up over onto Stormstormer. They've got the track off. Tofu hunting on the back line. Does manage to find No Tail. Ends up losing that courier.
Tofu's being a real nuisance, though. Just a little bit of information that he's given. That's kind of what caused like Rasmus to even jump the Slark down bottom, right? The bounty hunter giving that information for his team. He's been actually doing a lot more than I thought he'd be able to do as a 5-position bounty, I got to be honest.
I mean, I think a lot of us were very surprised that he's been as effective as he is, right? Oh, we do have the Ags completed now for Seb, so that's coming online here.
Yeah, so our Slark now is a totally different beast. He was like pretty far behind on net worth. Now he's top net worth, and look at his stats. He got the Echo Saber first. Now he's 2200 HP on the Slark. It's just very different how the next fights will be.
So here's the other thing, though, you have to keep in mind. The fact that you do have a Blink Dagger coming out now, too. So you've got a couple... Oh, they actually went into the pit during all this.
Yeah, they're actually looking
to
just take it. Rasmus is so tanky that... And they have the Serpent Wards for the damage. They could do this kind of freely.
I was not expecting that, to be quite honest. We dropped the,
me either.
The Blink Dagger over here.
They got Riki with Diffusal, too. So if the fight comes to them, like this, Ricky's now actually quite strong.
Gilgir. Oh, look at this. He's keeping it on the courier. So they won't realize that he's got it just yet. Roche
Oh, I love seeing that.
goes down. Ace.
It's so early that he has it, too. Like, that could really catch OG off guard. The Shadow Shaman being so big just from some little tracks and little fights. As now top. Rasmus, he's got Blink up in 3.
Oh gosh, yeah, they'll open up Tornado EMP. No Tail though hiding in the tree line. He's gonna try to protect him. Immediately call comes out and they go and they get off the Oracle ultimate. Got plenty of damage here. The Silence though, Riki jumping onto the back lines. They're trying to keep the Oracle alive and they do manage. They'll follow up with a beautiful Dream Coil. The Aegis does expire. Seb joining in with everyone else here, but he has to be careful. They'll follow up. The finger comes out. Down goes Ace, and the pounce is out here from Ana as he's just forcing his way through here over onto Stormstorm, but they don't quite have that detection over on the side, though. You can see Rasmus doing whatever he can. Does manage to get the kill over onto No Tail, and they're still chasing after Stormstorm. They haven't quite managed to get their hands on him, though. They have the vision. Eventually, the orb will collect. Saksa ticking down over here to the battle. Hunger eventually falls. Rasmus, though, he's trying. He's got that blade mail. He's giving those spins out. Seb making his way over here. The pounce forward again, coming out. And Rasmus, he's just surviving for so long. Eventually, though, they finally managed to take him out.
Oh man, and we see the real display of the power of the Slark with all those bonus stats. Really,
Tofu?
Seb?
Tofu?
Ooh. He's got him.
I can't believe he stuck around. You know there's a bounty hunter in this game.
The 5-position bounty kills the 3-position alchemist. Very nice. I love it.
Don't think he
Crazy
does.
fight kicking off,
pounce
though.
again. Gilgir turns around. He's gonna just try to buy a little bit of time, waiting for the rest of his team to show up. Not gonna be able to really do anything more than that, but he does survive.
Yeah, crazy fight, and I think now they have to really just be a little more careful on Smashers is to get on No Tail. You can't let him get the ulti off. They have to get either a Cloud, some type of disable or something onto him, because they threw everything onto the Slark to kill him, right? They used Tornado, they used Axe Call, they used Riki Cloud, but they did not pay attention to where the Oracle's positioning was. He gets the full save off, and that kind of turns the whole fight pretty quickly, unable to just constantly reset in and out of the fight over and over again.
There it is. There's that crit. Oof. Another fight breaking out as they do manage to find the Oracle. This time they're going to take him out first. There's the Hex, the track, everything over here as they shackle this out right into place. The leap forward, though, coming out from Ana, and they have a nice Dream Coil as well, but he's taking so much damage as Gilgir does eventually fall. They have a Hex off over onto the back lines. This line swirling around in place, though, as Rasmus following up. Can they get the final hit off? Yes, they will. Here, as they take down Thompson, they'll take down Saksa, and it's a triple kill for Ace. Plus the gem.
The gem, like, No Tail had a gem on him. They just went out and killed him with like 2-3 swings, and they get a gem. That's massive, especially with their lineup. They're Riki Bounty Hunter. Now they can take out all those sentries, any of them that are purchased up. They're going to close the map too. That is a huge window and some nice spell casting coming out from Stormstormer. The Ice Wall at the end, real clutch.
I mean, it's one of those situations where this hurts so badly now that they lost this because, yes, they want to keep tabs over on Tofu. They want to be able to, you know, get some of those D wards, but now they've already got so much vision on the side of Hellbear's Masters, just in the fact that they do have, you know, a Ricky, you do have a Bounty Hunter, and now they're ripping down all of the vision that you placed too.
Yeah, did they even keep it, or did they? I think they just send it back to base. I think you're like, you know what? Do we even need gem? Maybe we'll bring it only if we like, you know, have some positions where we need to deward. But they don't need a gem versus OG, so put it back at the base. Forget about it for some time. Be very happy that you just stole 1,000 gold from the enemy team, pretty much.
You gotta feel very sad if you're the support who's buying gems and then losing them almost immediately. They're gonna try to make a play. Tofu is here though.
Tofu.
They dropped the sentry, but they don't have the. Oh, good sidestep over here. Sox just a little bit off the mark. Pounds coming out though from Ana. There's gonna be a finger. Are they gonna be? They're not quite able to get the kill. Oh, at the last second, the finger comes out, but Ana falling to Ace. Gilgir looking for this opening. Will find the kill on No Tail, and they're just holding Thompson down. He's not looking like he's gonna be able to escape. Does have the orb though. Might be able to just blink out. Oh, the jump forward though again coming out from Rasmus as he barely manages to save Gilgir over here on the side. Ace following up, jumping over onto the back lines. He's got his eyes over here onto No Tail. He just fought back. He can't afford a die back, and he does. He goes down. Ana trying that will be able to finally take down Ace. As
Rasmus.
now Ana, he's still hunting. He would love to grab himself. Rasmus does have that blade mail. Good tornado will buy him a bit more time though. Another leash though coming out. The Pounds eventually down will go the axe.
Oh man, long duration fight for the Slark ends up being too successful. Look at his Essence shift stats.
Oh my god. 34.
102 bonus agility. And he also, there was like 2 different timings that ended up happening there. He got the SNY, he got the lifesteal talent. He actually doesn't worry too much about that Blade Mail Axe calling him, which if he didn't have either one of those, perhaps they actually can clean up that Slark, but he resets. No Tail buys back to save him again, and he's able to just overall win the fight because of that. Just getting these stacks and Thompson.
That's the E-Blade, but Thompson will orb away. The rest of the team hot on his heels now.
These two are being quite a bit of a nuisance. Thompson and Ana, they're just living too long inside of the fights. Like Thompson got so many spells off inside that fight too, because they were focused so much on killing the Slark. I think he got like 5 or 6 different orbs and winning Rift combos. So it is a bit difficult for them to solve the problem of the 2 elusive carries that are seeming to be on OG.
Well, I mean, that's just the nature of this sort of thing, right? Is the fact that they can just pop in, poke, back out, go back in. And again, the longer the fight goes, the happier Ana is on the Slark. Just gives him more and more essence shifts to just work with here.
Yeah, like the Invoker spells just start, they really just start going on cooldown. Like Stormstormer actually threw out like his entire kit. His Deafening Blast, Disarm was sick. He was actually defending his teammates really nicely with it. But yeah, these long fights, the Slark is always going to just thrive the most. Especially, like we said, getting that lifesteal talent. Now he's got an ulti orb too. 3,000 health Slark. It's getting quite problematic.
And a lot of it comes down to just getting that initiation and trying to burst him. And they had some success earlier, but it, like you said, getting more and more difficult now. Top tower, though, getting pressured. Rasmus realizing that no one's going to be coming here to help defend, so he's going to run forward, tank a little bit of the tower, and punch it. But
Radiant's bottom tower is under
Still so close. It's going to be so much up to like you were saying, like it's really going to be if they can explode a target first or not, if they can get on this Oracle. No-Tail's been a real nuisance. They got to get on him. They have to disable him. They can't let him get his ultis off if Rasmus is getting these calls off.
the pressure. Oh,
force
follows though immediately here. Big old meatball coming through. Seb is just dead. That's a very fast hit and run coming out here from the side of the Hellbear Smashers. Ace.
I love it.
Ooh.
I love aggressive Force Staff plays.
Sleeping
Gilgir just blink Force Staffs the Alchemist out of the base so they can get that Hex when he's kind of on low ground.
They're not looking to let up here at all. Rasmus going very far forward. Looking to tank up any of the spells they want to throw at them. Ace sitting back, waiting patiently. Couple hits here. Do get the Dream Coil. And it's going to snap. Force Staff forward though. Buy them a bit more time. And of course Stormstorm will be able to go invis here. Sleeping Dart. Lands over onto the Slark. Take a little nap now, Fishy. But
that dart could be a pretty good solution to break the Oracle, right? Just if you see him, just throw a dart onto him. They have multiple different forms now to be able to control him.
It's kind of an interesting. It's been fun with this patch, especially seeing how things are just unfolding, the way that the meta is being played, and seeing all these teams kind of doing some experimenting.
Yeah.
Position 5 bounty hunter here. It's working out. We were a little skeptical.
And we've done full circle, right? Mm-hmm. We were seeing Alchemist 3 position last season, and then people just stopped doing it. Now it's back. You know, we're just going to be bringing back some things that were as old as new. we can say.
The Factory Alk.
You know?
Odie Pixel's favorite version of playing this hero, it seems.
Owen and Slacks somehow just always find some weird stuff.
They're having
Invis
fun.
on Ana.
Oh.
He is spotted, though. He knows he's spotted, too.
Can they make a play here, though, is the question. Dust.
Smashers want to get the wraparound. They have to get some type of vision on the map. Right now, they don't really have anything, so they don't know where the Oracle is. They have to keep tabs of where he is. As Saksa, he's got Blink, so now he's got an easier way to get into the fights, too. He's been struggling quite a bit on this line, 0, 5, and 5.
It is very hard to play this game as a Lion, but Seb
Seb's
charging
going
up.
in.
It's not going to find anyone. Tofu throwing out the track. Immediately, Stormstormer following up is going to get pounced over on the back lines, but the jump into the back lines as well coming out here from the side of Hellbears. Can they do anything here? Snap forward
Ace.
here. They're going to end up losing Ace. They try to. They buy a little bit more time. They take down Saksa. And they've got the Oracle ulti. Ace does eventually fall as Ana's just pouncing around, trying to get the jump over here onto Tofu. They're trying to just burst them down. Can they do it in time? No, it looks like that stable caution going to buy them a little bit more time here as eventually Tofu falling. They just can't get their hands over on that Oracle. Now Gilgir holding on for dear life. He's hoping perhaps, can they get this kill? Yes, they will. They'll be able to take down Thompson. Rasmus with a good call. They need to get some more damage, but look at the stacks over here over on Ana. He's sitting at 34.
They get the grab on Thompson this time, though. Gilger's able to finally get his hands on him, and they got follow-up to clean him up. Ace did have to buy back, though, to join back into the fight. So did Tofu. So they do have to get something else out of it. Roche does spawn, so they can't actually look for that since Thompson's dead for 40 seconds.
Ace is creeping his way over here into the Roche pit.
Ana still has stacks, though, right? Yeah, he still has 34 stacks, so they're actually going to swing over to fight right away, and might be too problematic for Smashers. This Slark is still quite scary.
And they know that the
And
bounty
Ace
hunter isn't there, too.
Yeah.
Are they going to try to take this themselves? Do they dare? Do you think that's...
I mean, why not? Slark stays full HP while doing it because of lifesteal in this, but they're being a little hesitant.
I'm just afraid, like, the initiation coming out from Smashers, right, with everybody being up, it's kind of scary.
Definitely is, especially when they have no way to keep tabs. They only have that one ward in the mid to know where the axe is, and it's really everything. Like, it's really Rasmus. Just he's going to be the main one when watching the calls that he's getting. He's doing such a good job this game. 929, Blink, BKB. He's now holding the gem. So now that we're around that Roshan time, he wants to have the vision around the areas. Saksa.
Well, the jump forward immediately over onto Gilgir. Just going to try to blow him up, and they can't do it quite fast enough. Oh, never mind. They can. Rasmus just a little bit too late there with the blink forward. EMP getting tossed out. Ana wants this kill. They get the track off, though, over here onto Slark. Immediately going to purge it off. Buyback coming out now from Gilgir. As OG takes over the triangle. Gilgir
that
sitting on the
Smashers
low
have
there.
used. Be careful.
On the hunt. I hear a Dream Coil over on 2 on the back lines. They find Rasmus. They find Stormstormer. The jump forward, though. They're trying to get rid of No-Tail as fast as possible. And he's going to actually use his ulti on himself here. So he'll turn back around. Ana. He's got his eyes over here on Ace. He's trying to just take him out. And he's not going to be able to quite do it because Rasmus is able to drag Ana back. He's got the tricks of the trade going in again. Will survive. They drop the wards over on the side. This is not looking great for Gilgir, though, because Ana has his eyes over on the prize. Still not able to take down Saksa. Not able to take down No-Tail. As Ana hunting on the back lines, Rasmus running for his life. Tofu should be able to notice here. It's not going to quite land that pounce. Thompson was considering going for this little bit of a dive.
As soon as OG sees the axe, you can see how they just immediately go for him. They know that if this axe isn't getting a good call to start the fight, then OG's got a great way of access. And it was 3 buybacks that Smashers has used in these last few moments. This Shadow Shaman's dead for these whole 40 seconds. The Ricky, if he died, which he almost did, he would have been dead for 70 or so. So Smashers had to be pretty careful inside that fight. That's why they back away. And Thompson, he's just toying. He's actually just toying with Stormstormer. Since this Invoker doesn't have BKB, Thompson's literally just resetting on top of him over and over again, making his life so much more difficult to actually connect spells.
Look at this. Look at the way they're just running at Stormstormer. Does have a sentry ward down. Ana hoping he could get his little fishy hands on him, but just a little bit too slow there.
Oh, this is nice. Ace has a DD. Doesn't have his BKB, though, so he can get chain stunned and die. Does have to be cautious.
Again, it's so much on Rasmus here.
It is.
Oh, it's Thompson playing with the axe. The Hex comes out. Ana joining in. Now he just wants to get rid of this axe. He doesn't want to get locked down here. The BKB does come out over on the back lines. Ace trying to make a play over onto Seb. Not going to be able to quite do it. Dream Coil does get used, but it doesn't end up connecting on anyone over here.
Big whiff there from Thompson. They could have probably gotten at least one of those kills there.
Sleeping dart on the Slark. Look at Soxa, though. His positioning right behind in case anybody tries to jump on him. They're going to immediately be answered, as Rasmus does have to back off, though.
He has no BKB
heal.
for 50 seconds, so OG probably feeling they can make their way out without that axe being on the map for now. And Ana, I think that's his next item finished up. Yeah, full Scotty now.
Oof.
3,500 HP on the Slark.
I'll send in one of the Forge Spirits, try to get some vision. Stormstormer doing everything he can here. He's thrown out all of his spells, just trying to interrupt this Roche, trying to slow them down, trying to get any information. Guildgear. Force forward, follows. There's the tornado. Ana's still very, very healthy, though, inside this pit. They go and they drop the Serpent Wards, too.
Okay.
Maybe a bit premature here, because now they're, it's going to sit back. Ana just farming up.
Still down. Like, Rasmus can't go for 8 seconds. He knows this, too. They do get a nice wrap around Tofu, but now he's spotted.
Yeah, he gets forced down, low ground, Pounce comes out, Hex and everything here should be able to just eliminate this bounty hunter. So Roshan comes out of his pit. He wants to know what all the noise is about here, Fogged.
Oh, the noise is that Tofu's dead for a very long time. Now they have a 4v5 fight. And they don't have Serpent Wards. They're throwing spells to scout.
Looking very, very difficult to pop out of the pit here, coming out from Ana. Hoping to get the jump. Thompson over the back lines, but did he go just perhaps a little bit too far because they do have that call. They use the Dream Call. They're perfectly happy to stand there as they take down Thompson. They're going to go right back in. The Roche gets taken by the Radiant. They have to pick it up quickly. Okay, it's going to be Ana who picks it up. Immediately followed up here, Guildgear trying to just hold him into play. Stormer running out. They'll end up losing Guildgear. The pounces are out, though. Can they get Stormstormer in time? Rasmus is already BKB TP'd out. He's hunting. They have the gem. He wants this so badly. Just doesn't quite have the pounce. He's a little bit too far off the mark, but Stormstormer, he's got his dancing shoes out. He's going to try to just hide. He's going so deep into the base. Eventually, though, Ana hunts down his prey. Rasmus, though, is here. Does have the call. We'll try to drag him back. I'm not sure about this, friend. You might just end up dying here to Ana as he's leashed. The Blade Mail does a bit. The tower also trying its best. Seb also trying to dive past these towers to also give a little hands. They have a tier 2 up in mid, Fogged.
He's just accumulating stacks. That's what he'd tell you. He knows he's not at risk because all these heroes, they did use buyback earlier, so he knew he could go for these type of dive plays. And oh man, it's just a tough fight for Smashers to really get into at all. When they have to throw all these spells just to scout out the health of the Roche, and then they get jumped on initially themselves, and the Axe has to wait for BKB. It's awkward. It really is for Smashers. As Thompson, he dies, but it's almost like he kind of baited them over there a little bit to finish off that Roche.
Made a little bit of space. Again, they do have the gem over here on the Slark. Blade Mail from Rasmus. The Force Board with the Hex. He's going to throw out one of those big old Sun Strikes. It barely does anything, though, sidestepping around this tornado. Ace trying to find the angle. Can't quite figure out how to get in there. Does have the Alacrity. They're waiting for Rasmus to get another jump off. More tracks being placed. No tail. They have their eyes on him. And just
trying to get all the info
out for days. Yeah, they're trying. It's hard. Sleeping Dart. Just gonna heal up Slark. Wait patiently, and it's gonna hop into the back tree line here. Gets spotted here by the Forge Spirits.
He's so safe with this Oracle behind. Like, they have to somehow get to no tail, but it's so hard. Thompson's just waiting, covering him. It's just Ana really showing his face.
Every single spell that they can use on this guy. And all right, there it is. 3-man Dream Coil coming out from Thompson as he leaps into the back lines. Ana to follow up as well. And again, we get that hold. Nice save here coming out from the Oracle. No tail, though, sitting very, very low. But he's gotten his spells off, and that's the important part. Seb runs away. Rasmus, he's looking. He wants to get the dunk up. Not quite going to be able to get it, though.
And that's his BKB and the axe, the culling call down as well. Oh no.
I don't know how they make this fish leave their base.
They're gonna slow him down, at least a little bit, but yeah, they can't stop him. He's even just pouncing away from his EMPs constantly.
I get the
They're
Hex
just hexing
off.
him to annoy him.
Well, it was going a little bit far here, though. They do have to be careful. They've got the call here coming out, and the finger not quite enough to finish off Guildgear here. Although Ana, he wants it. He goes right in. Can they lock him down for long enough? No, they can't. Again, that fountain diving coming out from the side of OG. He is separated from the rest of the team, but he will be back in a flash because he's right over here on the back lines. I hear a call going out. Cataclysm comes through. Soxa goes down. They finally get their hands on No Tail. They'll finally get that kill, but now they have to force out the rest of them, and it's just looking so difficult. The Bounty Hunter now going to buy back. Rasmus getting another call, drawing back here over onto Ana, over on the back line, so they do manage to go, and they'll be able to take down Ace. They don't have all that damage. damage that they desperately need. Another pounce here from Ana is just chasing after them. Still has the vision over here on Stormstormer. He'll back off and he'll just start hitting those buildings.
Oh, Ace jumped outside trying to like quickly go for Seb, but Thompson's still, he just had Dream Coil available. They just kill him, and now Ace is gone for 80, and they really do need that Ricky damage coming into play. It can't just be the rest of them. This is likely just another set.
I don't know how they get them to leave. Again, like we said.
They can't. They killed Noto the once, and Noto just buys back and runs all the way back over. It's just too much for them to deal with.
Stormstormer continuing to just throw out his spells the best that he can, trying to make something happen, trying to slow them down at all. Okay, another call here from Rasmus to drag back, but no tail. He's just always in the right position at the right time. The buybacks are coming out, though. They want to try to make something happen. This Ace is so far back over on the back lines here, and they still can't seem to kill Ana. He's over in the base. They use everything here. They finally use the Serpent Wards, just clicking away over here on the Slark, and he's still here. He's still regenning. Look at this Slark. He doesn't even care. He's just taking a bath in the middle of all these guys.
I like this Ricky Cloud with the Serpent Wards. He couldn't kill them. He was missing them.
Entire time. Thompson leaping in. The coil gets used. Ana's just allowed to survive and walk out. They use everything on him. Thompson is just waiting over here. Rasmus trying to time it just right. Nice waning rift. Followed up here. And the blade mail does a decent amount. So they should be able to finally get the kill over onto Thompson. But Ana has just been allowed to live forever. Aegis is about to expire. They find the kill on Saksa. But they just can't seem to get their hands on the Slark as No Tail gets left behind. He is going to have to be the sacrifice as all of the Hellbear Smashers just circle around him and finally kill him off again.
It does cost another buyback, though. Ace kind of just killing his net worth to have to, because he just has to defend these racks, doesn't want to lose them, so they will have to use those buybacks. But Ana, OG, they do take the timer. They know that Aegis is going to be going down. He does escape nice and safely and swing around and pick up some bounty runes for his alchemist to get bonus gold. So Smashers, they do hold, but it's expensive.
I'm just concerned that you watched as Stormstormer throw out literally every single spell that he possibly could in that fight. And just No Tail's positioning was so good. They have plenty of ways to buff up the Slark, right? You've got, the fact that they've got the Solar Crest. You've also got a Vlad's, and he's already got that lifesteal. Like, I just don't know how they kill him at this point.
I don't know
like,
either.
I feel like, Ace, he's doing the best he can, but it's a suicide mission every time.
It's literally gonna have to be everything, right? They're gonna have to get a call with a Cataclysm with absolutely everything thrown on them while everyone else is somehow controlled. So that's gonna be a pretty tough ask for the Smashers to do now at this point. This Slark is just too big. He's like 4,000 HP. Like you said, throwing everything onto him, it doesn't matter. He's able to just lifesteal through it. He has two different ways to protect himself with his ult and with the Depth Shroud. It's just, it's so difficult for them.
It was looking like so nice. The Hellbear Smashers, you saw Rasmus, he was getting those kills in lane. He was getting a fast blink online. He was making the right moves, but it just felt like once Elk picked up that Ags and handed it off over to the Slark, things just started sliding out of control.
And now the second Ags will be delivered. Who's he going to give this one to? He's going to give it to Thompson. So Thompson's got this amazing Aghanims now versus these BKBs versus that Hellbear Smashers has been kind of relying on in the fights. And I believe the Alchemist also picked up Berserk Potion, so the Slark will also be able to pop off with that. I don't know if he had that before, but...
Not sure.
More buffs is pretty much just what it ends up being. Just Solar Crest Vlad's, Berserk Potion, as well as they're actually running in the triangle.
Look at the way they just immediately try to run. Tofu with the Force Staff. He's trying to outrun them. Saksa's trying pretty hard, and so is Ana. He's just pouncing forward here. Daring him to come forward is just going to focus down over on the building. Stormstormer throws out that tornado, buys a little bit more time. The MP, but the pounce away. Rasmus just a little bit too slow, or perhaps Ana just a little bit too quick.
At this point, that EMP, it's not going to do a whole lot, though. This is an 1,800 mana Slark, so
yes,
it's quite a lot.
I mean, I'm not sure what they hope to do to him, just period here. Look at this. Just walks on in. All right, they'll try opening with the call again, and they follow up with a very nice Dream Coil. Again, this is an Ags. So they have their own Aghanims, and they'll turn around. They'll hold down the Slark for a little bit, but Seb jumping in, and look, this Ana's just going right for those backlines. Wants to get rid of Gilgear. Does have to be a little bit careful, though. He's dove pretty far here. Again, has the pounce. Cataclysm coming out. Did Seb go a little bit too far? Yes, he did. Down he goes, though. Immediately buying back. As Ana looking for his next victim, does get hexed up. But No-Tail is standing right behind. Sleep Dart, though, over onto that line. They might be able to make something happen here as they just keep dodging in and out. But again, No-Tail with that save. They just can't seem to kill Ana here. Their disarm going right back. They have the shackle. They're just slowing him down. We keep seeing all these darts flying out. They're just trying really, really hard, but they're not managing to find this opening as Ace gets controlled yet again, and Ana just going right into the back lines, kills Gilgir.
He's just too buff. There's too many little buffs being thrown on him, and too many dispels being thrown on him, just keeping him full HP, keeping him just having 30 stacks or more. Now they're just starting to hit buildings. Rasmus
trying to go after Thompson here, but still not able to do it. The control comes out over here onto Rasmus. 3-man Dream Coil. The push forward, trying to get them back into the fountain, or trying to snap it. I'm not sure, but look at Ana. He's just chasing down Stormstormer. Starts going over into the fountain again. He will back off. Saxon needs to be careful. He's getting clicked pretty hard here as Rasmus finds the dunk, but it's a nice earth spike going right back in again. Ana jumping forward, gets the kill on Tofu. Hellbear Smashers, they're trying to defend. They're trying to just throw their bodies at them. Ana having to be a bit careful. Seb throwing out that unstable concoction. Ana's just going in deep here. Has his eyes over here onto Rasmus. Can he get this kill? Yes, he wants a triple kill now. Tornado Ice, while he's just chasing after Stormstormer, he can't stay alive. Somehow during all of this, he's still alive. The GG gets called. They realize they just cannot. They cannot do anything to this Slark, despite their best tries.
Ace's Ricky line was pretty appropriate right there. Why prolong the inevitable? As that game was definitely over as they were diving the fountain there with all those stacks on the Slark. Yeah, that was a pretty solid early game from Smashers, but the timing did come out. OG, they got that big fight in the jungle. I think that's the biggest one for me. The Slark hit the SNY timing, the level 15 talent that BSJ was talking about with the lifesteal, and they get these clutch saves off. No-Tail getting 1 or 2 saves on the Slark, allowing him to build up these stacks, just get that huge advantage. And yeah, him and Thompson were super disruptive. They were just messing with Smashers in every single one of these team fights so much.
Yeah, you know, they just had so many ways of being able to buff up Ana, and then the poke, right? The poke is like the big deal here. The fact that Thompson in, out, trying to just go and disrupt each of these fights, and they really did a great job with it. You know, we definitely saw that Rasmus had some great calls early. He was making these right plays, but eventually the timer just got to a point where with all those buffs, with all the talents and the itemization, Smashers just weren't able to close it out. So they are going to take game number 1, going over to the side of OG, but this is a best of 3 series, and you can see Smashers have heart, so we'll have to see what happens for game number 2.
We will see what happens for game number 2, but first we're gonna break down game number 1, and we'll do so after a little bit. The first game of this best of 3 goes the way to OG over Hellbear Smashers. You're watching DreamLeague Season 15 powered by Intel. This is the upper division of the Western European DPC League, and we said for Hellbear Smashers to have a shot this game, it would be Beastmaster that would get, or not Beastmaster, Axe, that would have to get out of control. And to be fair, Hellbear Smashers put up one hell of a show. And they were almost able to get a very convincing lead, but then it all fell apart and ended in a fountain farming, stack farming Slark game for OG. They took the game.
You know,
Go for it.
I'd say behind PL, Slark is probably the best fountain diver in the game, and it kind of speaks to their draft. One of the few heroes that can just ignore the fountain for a very long period of time. And Cap, do you know what his max stack of Essence Shift was that game?
I think it was somewhere between 60 and 70.
Yeah, between 68 and 70, actually. It was 69 stacks of Agi. It was quite quite a nice game for Ana. As I just want to say, besides that stupid point, that Lion found a Paladin sword in the jungle at 38 minutes into the game. I don't know if you guys know, but that item drops at 27 minutes into the game, and that speaks a lot to what we just watched.
Yes.
Thank you, Brian. Now for the hard-hitting analysis.
No, that was the hard-hitting. That's what people came here for. That's what they care about.
Well, then I don't know what else to say. I've got no fluff off of that. No, seriously, Hellbear Smashers actually did a sick job. Shout out to Rasmus. That guy, he was trying so hard. He's like, please, God, I just want to beat OG. Let me carry you guys.
And he was doing that as a call, too. Like,
yeah, and he was doing that every single call. He was doing the misery scream that we have several good pictures of. And they got close, but sadly, it only takes like one bad team fight against these off-lane Alchemist lineups are like really bad to lose team fights too.
Yep.
Especially with a Slark.
Especially with the Slark that gets an Ags as the first player that gets got the Ags from Seb's Alchemist, and Purge is here to talk about the death ball of that Ags.
Thanks, Shiver. Yeah, we were a little unsure how the Alk Ags going with Slark would turn out, but what's really amazing with it is that their whole draft came together in a really nice way. Normally, Slark needs some magic immunity at some point to have some survivability, but pairing it with an Oracle support in some of these early crucial game moments where Hellbear Smashers was initiating made Slark feel like a really strong hero, because the Ags functions both now as a offensive and a defensive item effectively, because in those really bad moments, Oracle can cover those gaps. You don't need Disable from something like a Diffusal Blade, but between the double pounce and the Echo Saber, it's more than enough to like stay alive in the front of your team and be basically all the things your team wants to do. The frontliner, the tower hitter, the initiator, the counter initiator. It kind of just covers a lot of bases and makes it really easy for your team to fight. So Hellbear Smashers kind of knowing they're a bit on the back foot as a result of this Ags on Slark. They do get some kills. They go for some pretty deep dives here, and they had a really good team fight. But the problem is that even though they got a lot of track kills here, and it looked like a really bad moment for OG, the important thing is that once all of these guys are dead, they look at the map and they're like, we got to go push out lanes now, guys. And then OG glyphs the top wave, and it basically didn't matter what they accomplished here outside of getting some nice net worth. So then it kind of just became a game where eventually OG was able to move into the Roche pit. And this is where the game really changed, because they got this Ags advantage. And with some really nice fighting here, they're able to control the Roche pit, take Roche, take Aegis, and get a shard on top of Slark, which is going to further compound how strong he is by effectively giving him a Refresher Orb with a second ultimate, which is a really nice advantage for him to have. He can protect his teammates, and he just got to do those crazy shenanigans in the late game. So I was a little unsure how well the Slark would work with the gifted eggs, but OG absolutely made it work despite the nerfs to Alchemist that made the hero less effective. They found something that fit their playstyle, and it gave them a pretty solid win, and off of some great plays.
Yeah, great place indeed. I have to talk about the Bounty Hunter, because we were pretty critical about a Bounty Hunter position 5. Now, in hindsight, obviously they lost, but was it that bad?
No, I don't think it was that bad. I think they were 1 or 2 engagements from snowballing that game. Ricky, pretty good hero for disabling Slark, because you have to buy a BKB if you want full effectiveness against the Cloud, because there's no other way to deal with it. But he didn't want to buy one, as Purge pointed out. He has the Alchemist Ags to make him tankier, the Oracle to back him up. So it definitely made Slark's job of solo carrying the game a bit more difficult, coupled with the fact that you can't purge the disarm from Invoker. So it took him a while to come online, but eventually it's just like a wall that keeps, or like a battering ram that just keeps banging against the wall and eventually breaks through.
Yeah, I think the Bounty Hunter lane especially went better than I expected, just because I thought that, like, the Axe lane going well is expected because they actually built like a really strong duo.
Yeah.
But the Bounty Hunter being this 5 position, I wasn't really sure how they would actually be able to walk out of that laning phase feeling good, but they did well enough. And then once you do well enough, then you're getting track kills, and then everything's kind of forgiven. The sad part is ultimately, though, they're against an Alchemist, and that's more gold than track.
When there's an Alchemist in the game.
It's an Alchemist game.
It's an Alchemist game. Great. We're going to find out if game 2 is also going to be an Alchemist game, or this time around we'll have maybe no Alchemist in the game. Maybe it's going to get bad. We'll find out after the break. Gonna be out of breath for this. Oh, hello, welcome back. We got game 2 coming. Helper Smashers OG Upper Division of Western European DPC League DreamLeague Season 15, powered by Intel. And I'm here with Cap and BSJ, and they're gonna talk Dota to us. It's gonna be nice.
Sweet,
Very nice.
Dota.
Oh yeah. See,
I can't go that
that's
deep.
that's when we should have the soundboard.
Yes, we've been telling production we need our own soundboard.
We do. We would like one. Can we get one?
You think they're gonna bounty hunter again? I wonder if that no applies to both.
Honestly, I'm okay with them bounty huntering again if they want. I think, like we said, we doubted its laning stage, and they knew it better than we did.
No.
They're pulling a page out of Liquid's book, going for the Abaddon Leshrac. Don't know how I feel about it. I'd really like to see a punishment coming out from OG in the mid lane from Thompson. I'm thinking Lena. I'm thinking Pugna if we're going more up a Thompson's alley. I guess this could just be a mid tiny, but once you see the enemy mid pick like this, I'd be totally down for them to swap it up a little bit and just dominate this Leshrac. I don't think this hero's first roundable, and it hasn't been punished yet in either of the 2 series we've watched.
Yeah, and I think that Tiny, when you melee 4 positions, feel a lot better when you have Grimstroke 5.
Yeah, you just have a easy +1
Yeah.
to make stuff happen.
Yeah, and some flexibility as well with that, of course. So let's see. Last time I think most of our mid-game bans or mid-phase bans, like this phase of bans, we mostly had carries targeted. I wonder if they're going to do that again.
They're going to keep banning away the Medusa, because that is the, like, Hellbear Smashers, it feels like they've got just a couple of strategies that they look really good on, and the Medusa is absolutely one of them.
Isn't it crazy how Dota works? That, like, I see Medusa virtually ignored by every other team in DPC, and you have to ban it against a specific team because they've made it work so well.
Yeah.
That's what I love about Dota.
I think it's really cool that both a player and a team as a whole can be good enough on a hero that, despite, we always talk about, drafting being this big, chess match and all that sort of thing, like, individual performance still does matter.
Yeah.
It's like a deck building chess, because you got to have the right cards. You got to be able to play the right cards.
Smashers aren't going to ban Alchemist because this time around they have Leshrac and Abaddon, so they already have tower pressure and they already have damage. And damage was something that they kind of were running out of in that last game.
Very good analysis, Cap.
Thank you. You keep on talking about the number between 68 and 70, Brian.
Do you think there will be Moxie laughed at that real hard
Yeah,
in the back.
we can hear her in the back.
Do you think that an emphasis is put like, okay, we just saw Anna play Slark, great. Do you think he'll say, you know what, I don't want to play Slark again, give me something different? Obviously, he will play something different, but is that a factor?
So my prediction is Anna will be playing Spectre, which is not Slark. So
Yeah.
I think they will be picking something.
I did play with a offlane Spectre recently.
Did it go Meteor?
There was a European player who
think that's
said,
the only way to
I
make it
only
hard."
win with Spectre. Doesn't matter what position, I only win with Spectre. And he was going to play 4 position. I said, no, sir, please. Allow me to play 4.
Did he
you
go
play
Meteor
3.
Hammer? That seems to be the way to make it work.
No, he didn't.
But do you think that Anna might be the player that would say like, yeah, don't give me the same hero twice. That's not fun.
He kind of like picked Spectre all at TI8, so
That's fair.
the only time they actually they were first overall picking Spectre by the end of that
That's true.
tournament, and the only time they stopped picking it was the finals. Maybe he's gonna treat it a bit differently.
I mean, this is not TI final.
Yeah, since it's DPC, but this is
Yeah,
how they get the TI. So.
If it's for less money than a mil, and it's not playing the same.
It has to be
twice.
at least 200K a game that he's making from that series for him to really step it up.
Okay.
And bite the bullet to have to play the same hero twice in a row.
Very importantly, okay, actually, philosophical question here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Can you fountain farm? It doesn't count as fountain farming if you are outside of the fountain.
No, like Monkey King ult, that's not fountain farming.
Okay, so sniper isn't fountain farming.
No, that's not fountain
Okay,
farming.
so when it comes to
Wait.
carries that can fountain farm,
Wait.
Yes.
yes, Shiva.
I think if you're sniper, you get vision on the
Yeah,
fountain.
that's what I was gonna say, right?
You still count as fountain farming because your enemies are in the fountain. That's, I think, if your enemies are dying in the fountain, then you're fountain farming no matter where you're positioned.
It's just not the same though. It's not. There's no like mental damage.
Yeah,
You know?
from an OG, it's not OG fountain farm.
Like you
Okay.
have to also be surviving their fountain, and it's saying like if you're a sniper, you're saying that if I were to walk in there, I'd die, but I can kill you from over here. It's like if you're diving in the fountain, tanking the fountain, you're literally saying there's nothing you'll ever do to survive this.
So that's fountain diving. There's fountain diving and fountain farming.
Okay, fine. That Shiva makes
Okay,
a good
you know
point.
what?
So
This is a
fountain
good
diving.
discussion. I
All right.
like this.
So
Okay.
what I'm leading to here
Fountain
is
diving, yes.
Phantom Lancer is number 1
Okay.
Yeah.
at fountain diving.
Yes.
Slark is number 2.
Yeah.
Spectre number 3.
Bristleback Spectre, I'd put in
Yeah.
the same
Bristleback
category
Spectre?
there
Okay,
because
okay.
you take so much damage, you just kill them with it.
Anyway, there's a draft, and they did indeed switch things up, I believe, and OG now have a puck
they picked Puck in response to the Lion.
Yeah, and the Wraith King is a hero that Ace really, really likes. He played it all their games when they played against Tundra. Obviously, 2 of those were losses, but it is definitely one of his most comfort heroes.
It's a good Wraith King game. He's geared up to probably be against a 4 Tiny, which it's difficult to toss a Wraith King because of the skeletons if he ever is ready for you to do it. And then also, Tiny's all about that combo, and so is Puck. And you got a hero that needs to be killed twice. I don't think it's the best carry to capitalize on having in a Abaddon 5, so that's a bit of a concern to me. You don't necessarily need the defensive tools of Abaddon, so what that means is that Tofu will most likely be playing around the Leshrac throughout the course of, I'd say until like maybe 25-30 minutes in.
Any chance to make sure, like, are you at all worried about their lane having a double melee?
That's what I mean. Like, it is a bit of a concern.
So do you think that
like, what if they just go Axe, you know?
Do you think 3 Abaddon is a thing at all?
With Lion.
Because that would actually put our melee range, like...
The thing is, I think against Spectre, you can get away with, like, a really greedy 3. Meaning, like, the Centaurs. You know, OG already banned it out. It's like
and
this 3 that's just going to feast or famine. Yeah, he does.
Well.
What else is there? They might even ban the Axe themselves on OG because they're afraid of it. I think Axe would be really good for OG. What other hero like heavy punishes melee?
He has Erasmus has played Enigma, Legion, Sand King, Pango, and he had a Dazzle game, but that kind of was a one-off.
Sand King or Legion, I think, would be nice for OG. Legion would be nice for.
Do you think Lesh punishes that? Because they could do Lesh 3, Abaddon is your 5, but he plays in the off lane. And
I actually have a lot of experience on Lesh 3. It doesn't feel that great against Spectre. I think the way to punish Spectre is to actually just hit for 15 more damage than Spectre because their base damage is so low and you just get every CS.
Okay.
I think that's the best way. Leshrac's base damage is pretty low. Usually Lesh is nice against kill heroes like the Slarks and the Ursas. Your high move speed and you can get CS from range. That's when I like Lesh off.
So they do ban Rasmus's Enigma. The Sand King is still there. It's one that you mentioned that I kind of like.
Let's see. They're going to have to reveal their hand before OG reveals theirs. By the way, OG still also has 1.5 minutes left into their bonus time, while Hellbear Smashers has got 5 seconds total. So they end up going for
high base damage.
Underlord.
That's what I like.
And good against Puck.
Yeah.
Very
this
nice.
is a good pick.
And
I like it.
Chonky.
Chonky.
And the Elder Titan coming out.
Ooh, the Seb Elder Titan. That punishes double melee.
That does.
Yeah, it does.
That absolutely punishes double melee.
Takes advantage of the skeletons as well.
Buffs up all the damage that they've got on OG. Pretty much all magical damage for the first 20 minutes of the game.
And it does mean they're going to be taking more damage from dispersion as well, I think. So
yeah, just if you know the key counter to this is that if Hellbears just doesn't do any magic damage to the Spectre because the return damage of dispersion is the same damage type, then the ET won't be buffing it.
yeah, but he could be taking away their physical armor as well.
He has to physically be there though.
Yeah. Well, it's a core Elder Titan.
You were talking about
get
core
in
Elder
there.
Titan, I think, at the beginning of the second series today.
Yeah, because
you were hyping it up.
Because we saw Skylark make it
Yeah.
popular last week. It was actually really good, and then we saw it a couple of times scattered throughout the week, and I think it did fairly well. It might not have won every game, but
I straight up think Seb's going to carry this game. This is the Axe version 2 of TI.
Because it ignores the Leshrac. It actually just owns Leshrac because you are high physical damage that you also get magic immunity from. So Leshrac doesn't do anything, and you can keep up with them as well, which is really nice.
The lane, I think, is going to be a stomp.
Yeah.
Literally.
we have to have a soundboard. This needed a badum.
Moxie's booing us. You laughed at our jokes earlier,
Yeah, you
Moxie.
laughed
You're not
at the
allowed
She
to
laughed
do
at
it.
your jokes. She never
70
laughed at my
Moxie.
jokes. What can I do? I'm not good enough.
So we think OG have the upper hand here. The Wraith King doesn't have a shot.
No, they
Albert-
absolutely have a shot if he
Okay.
gets out of the lane surviving. I just think that if he has to get booted when Elder Titan's like level 5 and he's level 4, that there's just not going to be enough space to recover. Lesh is a pretty greedy mid.
All right, well, let's find out how Game 2 is going to play itself out. We're heading over to a commentary duo of Moxie and Fogged.
Well, it looks like we're going to get to see a Seb Elder Titan. And Fogged, I know that you are a huge fan of this particular hero. Tell me, what are we going to expect here?
Briefcase. Much briefcase. Lots of damage. much fun. No, it's a good pick here, especially with like the puck and the tiny. It amplifies their damage up a lot in the mid game. So I think it's going to be pretty potent. It is a pretty greedy draft, I do feel, from Smashers with the Underlord pick as well. This is a hero that, you know, you're playing your own lane for the most part. You're not going to go help out too much to those side lanes for some time. And Leshrac and Wraith King are just individually, they do have some greed between themselves. So we'll see how they do set up these lanes. I wonder if they actually do put the Abaddon top, because I feel like that could be kind of a disaster. I feel like they might have to do some weird stuff with their lanes, because I actually do not want to have this double melee top for Smashers, because that's just going to enable Seb to get out of control. And I think you really don't want that to happen for this Elder Titan this game.
No, you absolutely don't. This is, you know, kind of similar to game number 1 where Rasmus really had to pop off on the axe. This is going to be OG here with Seb, of course, you know, having to pop off on this Elder Titan and really, you know, start making that tempo here. But they do have a nice ward over here on the side. They can spy out quite a bit. Nice stroke of fate landing over on 2 right away. Saksa. It's just gonna...
Can't quite toss. He's trying. He can't.
He's just a little tiny in a big world. You know, that is a very heavy Underlord that he was chasing.
This is true. What's our rune exchange? Looks like Smashers should get 3. So a little bit of a decent, you know, a little bit of a better start. However, we did see, I think, the other day when the team grabbed 4 bounty runes, they actually lost the series. So that was a little bit of a dice. But anyway, it doesn't matter.
That is a nice way to get started, but sometimes you just can't keep up that nice start.
And they are going to be doing exactly what we said. They're going to be putting the Underlord and the Abaddon bottom. Love it. I think this is way better, but look at what they're going to actually start out for with OG. They're actually going to have Saksa start out bottom as well to try to do some tossbacks. They do this a lot when they have a greedy carry that is going to struggle versus like something like an Underlord, this heavy, high base damage hero. They tend to start out tri-lands when they see this. So they're going to try to set up Ana for success because Ana, he's got a 20 base damage differential to Underlord, so they do have to help.
I was about to say, a lot of the times currently when OG is playing, it feels like it's a bit of a 4 protect 1 sort of deal. Thompson is always, you know, the one who's kind of making those plays early, trying to just be very annoying. But at the end of the day, it is very much, you know, on Ana's shoulders.
Yeah, that does mean that Seb, though, is not going to get that farm that we were saying that he probably will up top, since it's going to be that tiny securing farm for Spectre. So maybe he will have a bit of a slower one. As we've seen them, like we said, we've seen them do this quite a lot. Is just leave Seb on an island, they secure that tri-lane farm, then they make the moves later on once the Spectre or, you know, ex-greedy hero does get away with what he wants.
Now, I know, like, with some of the teams, you generally want to empower the hero that's going to be coming online earlier, right? So in this case, I would definitely say that that would be Seb, although hold that thought because the action's coming out here on the bottom lane. Photic Shield being used over here by Tofu, but Ana on the hunt, he's going to be able to collect that first blood. And are they going to try to get anything else here? Stroke of Fate over onto Rasmus. They really are just kind of struggling here. Rasmus trying to move, trying to get some of this damage off, just getting those spells down, but eventually, No Tail will collect a kill.
Yeah, so I think it really is just it is just enabling Spectre. Otherwise, he gets like nothing down here versus Underlord. So they're just going to actually stick with the 3 of them. Tofu TP's back, but he's just dead. He went alone.
That's... yeah. Even our observer, I don't think, was quite expecting that.
No, and now Rasmus, he's an Underlord down bottom without an Abaddon to TP to help him. So he has to just be careful of his positioning. If there's mana on the 2 supports, he can die. And they are going to successfully pull the lane back with a single pull, looks like. No-Tail should be able to do that one. And 1 melee creep actually gets through, so it's actually going to be able to deny most of that wave. This bottom lane is going to be a problem now for Rasmus.
I mean, you've got to do the walk of shame back down there if you're the Abaddon, and it's a lot of time where Rasmus just can't approach at all. He's not going to be able to get any sort of farm. Top lane, though, they are trying to make
the stuns.
Trying to make some things happen on Seb, but like you said, when you stack the stuns, you're not going to get that optimal amount of damage down.
You can't be making those type of mistakes. You're heavily crushing the CS, which is fantastic right now for Hellbear Smashers, but this is an ET who's now level 3. He's gotten away with, I feel like, more than he should have up top by himself.
Toss back right over to No-Tail. He's got that ink swell on him. It's going to proc. Not quite enough damage here, though. Again, they follow up with that Aphotic Shield. But look at the way that they're zoning here. This is just free farm for the Spectre to do pretty much whatever she likes, because every time they get a little too close, they immediately get punished. Look at the Saksa already pincering into position. Toss up with the Avalanche, the Stroke of Fate. Photic Shield does buy them a bit more time, and looks like Ana's going to back off here, just go back to farming creeps, and No-Tail does have to be a little bit careful. He is getting chased down here by Tofu, but just going to go safely back to his tower.
it really is such an interesting approach to see, like, just because they really want to secure, they're keeping the tri lane even still, clarity up on the side with Saksa, No Tail also with the Bassi for that mana regen. They're just gonna keep trying to pressure and just kill this Underlord.
Saksa has the Inkswell, waits patiently, will be able to go land over onto Rasmus again. They have that Aphotic Shield tossed back, though, into the Avalanche, right over to Ana, as No Tail chipping away as well. Tofu doing everything he can, trying to push them back. That Firestorm does hurt, so Saksa has to back off a little bit, but meanwhile, in the top lane, they do manage to find the kill on Seb. So they are making strides in that top lane, despite the fact that this bottom lane is just so difficult. Tofu maybe staying just a little bit too long, does have the shield, though. The salve will be used on Rasmus.
Really interesting approach, really. It's a sacking Seb, hoping he gets the best. He's gotten a lot, he dies, but they are securing that farm. You see Spectre with 18 last hits to Underlord's 11. That like almost never happens when it is Spectre versus Underlord. Just look at his base damage. So that's the whole reason to why they're doing it, and we are starting to see, you know, Smasher just come out a bit more ahead out of this because the Wraith King is getting absolute free farm.
Do you like the way that they've decided to just, you know, I don't want to say put all the eggs in the basket, but the way that they're playing, just really trying to protect Ana, make sure that he can get all that farm? Or do you think they should be helping Seb?
They go for it. It's a decision they made, right? It's the way that they like to play. They like making sure that Ana has a good start when he plays Greed. So, you know, it's a different approach from each team. So if it ends up working, it's great. If they end up having this like Slark or this Spectre having a good item timing on like Blade Mail and just gets this super farm, then absolutely, it's gonna work out for them.
All right. Working his way over there, and see Saksa did make a little bit of a rotation over towards that mid, but he's headed right back here again. They're trying to contest this little bit of a pull. Ana's making his way over here to the shop's going to get his Ring of Health, so that's going to enable him to stay in the lane a little bit easier. As Tofu is rotating over to this mid lane.
They're double securing bounty. They're double securing the rune for the Lesh. Stormstormer's already having a pretty good time. Saksa.
Well, gets the avalanche off here. But Gilgir will snap up the Invis rune. Bottom lane, some more plays trying to get done here, but again, not quite enough damage without that Tiny.
And now Gilgir, Invis, he's just sitting around the mid lane. If Thompson steps up too far, they can definitely chain stun and kill him. So Thompson being quite cautious. And it means that Seb now in a solo matchup versus a super farmed Wraith King. So it doesn't feel easy for Seb.
Dream Coil followed up with the Avalanche toss back as they've got their eyes over here on this Leshrac. They want to burn him down, but they're not quite able to as they end up losing Saksa and Thompson as they turn right back around and find No Tail. The positioning coming out and the lockdown is just so good. Meanwhile, on the bottom lane here, this is not looking very good here for Ana, though. He's going to try to just throw out the dagger, slow him down. He's going to run away. What a rotation, though, coming out from the Smashers.
And just a little bit of maybe unfortunate, but also just not the best targeting decision in coming out from OG. They tried to go for both, I think. They tossed and stunned the Abba to break the coil, but because of that, they didn't have the burst to kill the Lesh, so the Lesh kills everybody. Some pretty big mistakes from OG and some nice rotations from Smashers to enable this Lesh, who's already having such a good start.
Well, Saksa making his way up.
He's even TPing bottom, and he's going to refill up Rasmus with the bottle too, and look to actually kill Ana here. This could be a really nice move for Stormstormer.
Yeah, we'll open up with the Pit of Malice, followed up with Storm, and there's just so much damage coming out from Leshrac. Just helps rip him down as Rasmus gets the final hit, and down goes Spectre.
And a lot of the tower.
Yeah.
Yeah, they kill the Spectre, and they give the mid lane to the supports, which they would love that experience. Some excellent stuff from Smashers. Already 3K advantage.
A lot of damage placed on that bottom tower.
And the glyph was forced. So now the second go, Stormstormer is going to clear this wave. This tower is just dead if OG doesn't set up a massive defense. Edict will just kill it. And here we go.
TP coming in from Ana. Jump immediately with the silence. We'll get the Pit of Malice off, though. They're going to back off. He's just going to take off that Phantom's Embrace. And they do protect their tower a little longer. There's a nice double damage rune over here that Thompson, I'm sure, would love to pick up.
That's actually pretty heads up. You know, they don't kill the Lesh, but they push him away from the tower, and they're going to keep this tower alive for Ana for quite a lot longer. So it's a cool play. Even though they don't get the actual kill, they just force him away. I like that. I mean, and now because of this Thompson, it forces in mid, and Tofu has to be careful because of the Tiny hanging around.
That's the benefit of having a hero that can clear out waves, as they are going to try to slow down Rasmus. We'll get the Ingswell to connect. Topson's here. He's got the double damage. They've got the silence as well as the Waning Rift comes in hot. Body blocks coming out too, and No Tail will eventually be the one to get the kill. But those are some earn charges coming over here for Topson.
And he can steal a bounty away, level 8, and he's got this DD. He can actually swing mid because he still has Dream Coil available. They actually are bringing Seb, who's level 7 somehow.
Nice stomp landing over here on the Leshrac. Tofu immediately removing it. Topson getting in position. He is going to settle here for, of course, Tofu, who is leashed up. And will get taken down.
Not bad. That's just a 5 Abaddon. Who cares about him? You get your Leshrac away. Gilger has already hit 6 on the Lion pretty early on, and Stormstormer already making another move up top. No Tail just TPs to his death.
Yep, and looks like Rasmus may be teleporting right here to his death with Saksa being in position already. The teleports are coming out, though. Trying to go for that stomp, and there it is. It's the final hit. More teleports coming out. Ace did manage to take a tower while this was going on. And he does have his
Stormstormer's just being very active. The Lesh just moving from lane to lane with this max edict. He can easily just take out these towers. Mid tower is super low too. Topson.
Oh, Ace takes down Saksa while this is going on. The chase is on now over here on Seb. Topson can't do too much other than the slides because they burst him down. The Haunt comes out. He'll be able to get the kill on Stormstormer, perhaps diving just a bit far. It's a nice Earth Spike. Tofu is going to try to keep Gilgear alive. Does have that Spirit chasing after him.
He didn't finish the tower off either. It's actually at 30 HP. It's still alive in the mid lane. Just diving a bit too far. Did cost the Haunt, but well worth it for OG, just taking out this pesky Lesh who's been quite problematic.
And still
Are they going to
protecting
deny
this
the
one.
mid? They're thinking about it.
No, they will, eventually.
Yeah.
Middle tower has been denied.
Bottom lane, the teleports are coming out. They want Rasmus. Pit of Malice, but the Avalanche already connecting with the stomp, the sleep, the burst is there, and now they'll turn their attention right over to Stormstormer, who he's doing a lot of damage. Saksa almost falling there, but Topson will collect a kill. Finger coming out from Gilgear, though, will be able to remove Topson from this equation.
Oh no, Stormstormer, after having such glorious rotation, such a great start, back-to-back deaths as soon as he TPs out. That's still quite painful. At least they get Topson. Thank God for Gilder for them.
Yeah, whoa, No Tail needing to be a bit careful here. That's a lot of damage coming out from Aces. Tofu just pulling here in the bottom lane as the Photic is just chasing down Seb. Does have Gilgear nearby, so Seb does have to be a little bit careful, but looks like they want to focus on this tower.
The 5 Abaddon chasing away the 3 Elder Titan. Love to see it. As bottom tower might also just get denied. OG might just go for this one too, and they will. Okay.
You can see some pincering coming out, perhaps trying to make some moves here over onto Seb.
Ace wants him.
Pincering. Immediately the Hex comes out. They bide their time. Earth Spike and a couple big old crits. Even use the Rayfire Blast. Tofu taking the last hit on that. I don't think that was necessary, but
He says thanks, at least.
that's true. Good manners are important. Manners maketh man. Rasmus, though, top lane. He's got the Inkswell, the Silence there, just chasing down this poor Underlord. He is not getting any breathing room with the Phantom's Embrace. The toss-up, Saksa cleaning up on Rasmus.
Oh, and he had his hood in his backpack.
Oh,
Perhaps
no.
if he has actually the hood in his inventory, maybe he pops it and he has the time for Tofu to save him, but that is a big slip of Rasmus. Also dying back-to-back a couple times now, as these Ancients and hard camp stacks now start to get worked on by Ana.
Ooh, there's a chipped vest that just got found. Do have the mask, though, on the Spectre currently.
He's probably going to take the chip. It's just 2 value.
Ace waiting off over on the side. Does get spotted out, though, by the Spirit. Looks like they'll back off for now, and Seb will be allowed to hit some creeps.
Yeah, and Seb's gone for the 2-2-4 build, actually liking it because he can't get into the faces of them so much. He just wants to buff up the magic damage of his team right now. 4 points in that aura, lots of magic damage on them as well. As Gilger...
Ooh, he breaks the smoke. Doesn't look like... I mean, they're slowing him down. I think they really wanted to get the jump on someone else here.
He just gets the stun off during the toss, and he ends up living because of it.
Yeah.
That was sick.
Top lane, Spectre poking away here on Tofu. Doesn't feel very good when you're just getting chased down like this, but eventually, Ana will back off. Tofu's just gonna go and dig himself a little hole here, find himself something yummy.
Yeah, he's got Tranquil Boots. He'll just chill, wait till those come back active. He's just taking the scary place to farm right now in this Abaddon, while his team is looking to make the move over to help him out. Gilger as well as Ace, they have Finger online. if they can get the initial stun onto Ana, very likely they can just finish him.
They gotta just not stack those stuns though, right? The Haunt immediately coming out though, realizing that something feels a bit off as they do get a Dream Coil over onto mid, but the Hex, they're just able to control Ana, so he's not gonna be able to join into this fight over here as Rasmus, he is ticking down. That's another kill for Tops, and Stormstormer's on his way, and they do have the Yules to get the Soulbind off. Soxa, though, he is just burning to all of these spells coming out from Leshrac, and hey, look at that, beautiful. A nice double damage rune available now for Stormstormer.
You couldn't ask for a more precise hit there from Smashers. It's literally as Ana is haunting away, they get the kill. Like that's picture perfect. It's a 2+ minutes, 2.5, 3 minutes where that haunt is going to be down. Yeah, that was really, really nice hit by them. Now, that means Ace is just going to be enabled to have a much earlier Radiance timing than anything else. Spectre is going to have some problems.
Yeah, Ace is getting closer and closer to that relic. And he's had a lot of room here to be able to breathe. Let's see, though. Let's see, because the last game, you know, Smashers, they were looking very, very good. They were getting everything they needed on Rasmus early. They're making the right moves, but eventually it just reached a certain timing where they weren't able to keep up the momentum. So what do they need to do now, Vogt? What do they need to do to keep up this momentum and keep the pressure going?
Right, I think the state of the game is actually pretty good for them. Just like chilling out, they're farming up really good on all their cores. Hunting the Spectre like that was the ideal. So I think if they can do that again in the next like 80 seconds or so when Fingers back up, that's great. But right now, they're okay with like just chilling out. If Heroes show on the side lanes, they can threaten them. But this is a fantastic start for the Wraith King. And Ace, you know, I do feel like he's much more comfortable when he's playing something like just Wraith King. Ricky, that hero just feels a little weird. Like overall as a carry, he's not the best. And I feel like Ace, he's just not really the most comfortable with something like that. Just much better on a traditional carry.
Well, he definitely looked excellent last season, so definitely excited to see how far they can go here in, of course, the upper division. A Blink Dagger does get picked up on Soxa, though, so positioning is going to be very, very important here, as he's going to be able to initiate quite nicely. As Ana makes his way down towards this bottom area, and there's some pressure being placed on top, though, coming out from OG in the meanwhile. Oh, we got an Uber service, though, coming out here. Looks like everybody's headed up.
He's bringing the 4.
Try to protect this.
Gilger has his Blink coming out on the Lion 2 in a moment. It's flying out on the Courier. So they have a great way to set up these fights now.
I don't think they'll wait for it,
Noto standing under a ward.
Yeah, he really is as he walks right into Ace. Couple big hits, 1, 2, 3. Down goes No Tail. And it looks like they do manage to get the tower during all this.
They've got some good timings here. They also have Rasmus finishing up a pipe in a moment too versus this puck. It's pretty huge as Gilger. He jumps up on high ground, but a little early.
Just a little bit. Dream Coil does get used, but it doesn't seem like they... Yeah, look at this. They have the protection here coming out from Tofu. Topson, they're looking, hoping maybe someone will get a little bit out of position as Soxa does reveal himself, but they'll turn their attention now over here towards this this tier 2.
Not too early at all. He forced a coil. That's pretty sweet for Gilger, just jumping into the high ground blindly.
Not usually something you want your supports to do.
No.
But it worked out this time.
It looks quite scary for him.
It's very tanky. It's going to immediately throw out the Aphotic Shield, and they're going to be leashed up. They'll use the Haunt, and they've got the Silence. This is going to be possibly, yes, it's going to be a first-time death here for that Wraith King. He's coming right back up again. He needs people to go and help him out. Nice split Earth being tossed down in the middle of everything, and there's going to be able to just hold on into place. Soxa jumping onto the back lines, though, is able to take down Stormstormer with a little help here from Topson. Now Tofu, they have the vision. Topson gets himself a double kill, as the rest of the side of Smashers are just on the back foot.
Stormstormer's still very vulnerable. He's so squishy. He actually went for the Kaya with the Yule, so he doesn't actually have any HP bonus to protect himself. He's going to just be completely reliant on the pipe from Rasmus and the shields from the Abaddon. That's a scary place to put yourself in. Not even like a casual cloak or something like that to guard himself versus all this magic damage. I don't know. I'm a little worried now for Lesh. I think the Wraith King's gonna have an excellent game, but this Lesh I feel like could just chain die. The ET Spirit on top of him with a tiny combo, and he's just dead. 1200 HP does not save you at this point.
Coil followed up with Soxa of a toss. Gilger's here though, and he does manage to go, and they just control Topson.
Nice.
Down goes the puck, and they're still hunting. They're looking for more here, realizing they have a little bit of a window. They do spot out Soxa, and they're going to rip down this ward. Make the side of OG a little blinder here around this area.
Gilger on points per usual, 304. Excellent game so far from this Lion.
It's especially when you consider we thought he was definitely dead. Seb, though, over in the mid lane. We talked about this positioning. They just have so much damage. They'll find the kill on the Elder Titan.
OG getting caught off guard there a bit here. Just stepped up a little bit too far to farm, and this is just the enable Ana now at this point, really, just because of how they're getting picked off also on Topson. Like it's back to like the usual OG, I would want to say. It's just make this Spectre the absolute full carry. Just keep looking for the big pops though. So I'm still gonna be watching Saksa, the ET Spirit. This Leshrac has to be so careful with his positioning because he can just die almost instantly. I want him to get either the Vitality booster or Point booster ASAP because he's very frail right now.
And there's only so much that really, you know, this Abaddon can do to keep him alive, right? You know, it's a little bit difficult because their initiation's a little strange coming out on the side of Smashers. There's no traditional jump like you would normally see in some of their drafts.
And their save it's very short distance. Abaddon playing versus Grimstroke, you're gonna either get leashed and double silence, or you're gonna get silence from Puck. Can be a little bit tough to ask Tofu to get all those saves out onto Stormstormer. Does pick up the Vitality booster though, so 1600 HP now.
Ooh, they find Ana, the jump forward with the Earth Spike, Pit of Malice. Ace just chopping away over here. Do they have enough burst damage? Oh, yes, they do. They take down the Spectre. It's a beautiful Dream Coil, though, over on the back lines with that Inkspo connecting on multiple targets. Look at them just chasing them down. No Tail now forced to just try to hide in the trees. He's not going to be able to, as Tofu's trying everything he can to try to keep him alive. Meanwhile, on the back lines, though, Topson poking away over at Tofu. That ultimate will, of course, proc, as Topson's hunting the buyback now coming out from line. They've got the E-Blade. They're trying to just blow up the support. Need to be careful here. Ace was looking to wind up there with the Wraithfire Blast. Is not going to be able to get it off in time, as they realize on the side of Smashers we should probably back up.
I actually like this buyback from Gilger just in case, even though it doesn't get them anything, it pushes away those three from just diving forward and just killing Ace and Tofu probably twice. So I do like that he does go for that there. They gotta be careful, they're stacking. They stacked up so hard for the combos, the tiny Avatos, the Inkswell, 4-man stomp from ET and Splitter. They do have to be a little bit more careful when they do that.
We do have the blink picked up now for the Wraith King, so we talked a little bit about how the initiation's a bit tricky here. It looks like he is going to be the one who's going to be running on in with his face, but you have to be careful with the Wraithfire Blast done, right? Because of the fact that it is very telegraphed.
Yeah, he does need follow-up, though. They want to be able to just, like, insta-lock down someone with Gilger and just kill them immediately with a finger, because there's no real saves on the side of OG to be able to protect any of this. So they can erase heroes right away at the start as
they want
Topson.
They want him so badly, and already, though, he's going to go up to the high ground, sees the bounty rune. Ace considering it, but looks like not going to hard commit here. The Aphotic Shield over on Ace trying to protect him. The jump forward here coming out from Stocks with the Avatos. Tofu trying to get in position, trying to keep him alive. Ace chasing after him over on the back line, so they will find Seb. They've got the Inkswell. They do have the shard on him, so he's going to be able to heal up quite a bit. So he'll turn right back in. Dream Coil gets used over on the back. We talked about Stormstormer. He needs to be able to stay alive as they get a nice splitter off. Seb, though, will fall. He's going to back off. Finger getting used on the back line. We'll be able to take down Topson. And now Ace, he's all silenced up. Ana running away here. They still have the reincarnation too. AC wants it. He's chasing after them. He finds himself No-Tail. The stomp coming through does manage to land. Radiant's burn, though, definitely hurts as No-Tail's trying to hide in the tree line. I don't know if he's going to be able to do it, though. Not with that Firestorm. Oh, and Gilgear's just poking away over here at Soxa. Maybe a little bit too far away from the rest of the team here, but it looks like OGs, they're a little bit too nervous. They're not going to follow up on poor little Gilgear here.
No, they're really on point with the way they're getting these catches. Gilger over and over again, just getting Topson. He's got his number this game. The Lion counter usually versus the Puck. This time OG, they did pick that Puck into Lion, and Gilger might be making them regret it a bit there. He's constantly getting these disables, and it's the way that they postured themselves in the fight. If they start to retreat, you could see where OG is just going to be able to like explode these heroes with the splitters and all that. But because they all stick together as a unit and actually run into the fight, it puts OG on this weird positioning in the fight that they have to kind of just run away with the ET. Puck goes in and the rest of his team just bails on him. So great awareness from Smashers to just actually take the fight rather than looking to run away.
Definitely Gilgear's positioning has been absolutely wonderful this game. So it is difficult to get your hands on that puck, and you know that Topson, he likes to play this hero. He wants to, you know, dive in and out, but it just always feels like the Smashers kind of have his number.
Yeah. The way Thompson always plays is just, it's super aggressive and it's super disruptive. So if Gilger is in these right places at the right time, it's going to break a lot of OG's annoyance that does happen in a lot of these games that causes Ana to just reap havoc and get these crazy farms. If he's just controlling Thompson's chaos, it's definitely going to work out for them. As right now, 7K gold lead, this Wraith King, 4K above the next. It's looking really good for them right now.
Seeing some of the TPs coming out now. Ace jumping forward immediately, sees Ana. He's not going to focus him down, though. He's got his eyes on Soxman instead. Avalanche coming through. That Inkswell healing him up. So they're chasing. Seb over here trying to teleport out. They do manage to find themselves No Tail, though. He's not going to be able to teleport away. But it looks like the Spectre and Soxa will be able to survive. As everybody's hopping in the bus. And we're going top.
Oh, I like this. They know that they're going to go play around this triangle side. They still have these 2 wards covering the area too. They could swing and find Ana for sure. Ooh. Ana does have Haunt available. He's about to buy his ulti orb. They know exactly where he is.
Link forward here.
Oh, he went left. They went up.
Did indeed.
Nice attempt with the Uber.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I'm still going to place some pressure here over on this tier 2. Thompson now picking up that blink on the puck. So perhaps, you know, we talked about his chaos. Going to be able to make a little bit more this time around and perhaps get a bit more information before Gilger can jump on him. Getting very close to Ags too here for Seb. So that should change things a little bit in these fights.
Yeah, that should make Seb actually be able to be a walking force in the fights rather than just a stomp and a splitter. He'll actually be able to do something and contribute a little more. Gilger also pointing out he's hit level 15. So the line does get, it's only 4 stacks, but every little thing matters. 280 extra HP might be enough for him to live.
The aggression coming out. Oh, the finger immediately. All right, well, that's going to be a little bit more stacks here, Fogged.
There we go, 5 now.
All right. Getting more swole over on that lion. Pressure's on over here. How did they get in here, though? All right, the toss back immediately. Again, silence up. They're holding Ana in place. They've got that Inkswell, though. It's doing plenty of damage, but Tofu trying to save him alive. No, nice Dream Coil on the back lines as well, holding them into place. Stormstormer trying to get out as much damage as possible here as Gilger is just trying to drain all this mana. Just slowly but surely. Yes, you can't do anything to him other than poke him when that's going on. Jump into the back lines here from Thompson. We talked about that chaos. The Haunt's coming out, but okay, yes, Ana going forward here. This nice avalanche, but he's a little bit too far. He's not comfortable here. I don't think they're going to be able to. No, the toss up coming out from Soxa, trying to keep him alive. It looks like he is going to be the one who's going to have to die, though.
Oh, he lives because of the Manta dodge on the Split Earth. He actually would have died for sure on Ana there. As they're jumping in again with Thompson.
They are indeed, and they managed to go and grab the puck at the last second. Big stroke of fate tossed out. They're focusing on the buildings.
Oh, I love seeing Gilger. He puts the shard to use there perfectly. Just stands in front of a Tiny with his just mana drain, and Tiny can't do anything. He's magic immune.
Another Inkswell. They stacked up a little tight here, and they do have the Blade Mail. Another Split Earth, though, coming in. Ana, he's not looking too great right now as a dive in over onto the back lines. A stop buys a bit more time, but they do. They take down Ana, and they take down Thompson. No buyback on the Spectre. No buyback on this puck. Hellbear Smashers hitting fast, furious, and just hitting very, very hard right now as they immediately make their way down over to the bottom racks.
And they should be able to go for this one too. Gilger landing, Gilger doing just clutch plays across the whole board of this game. The mana drain to stand on the high ground to bait some spells where they can't kill him. Then this last stun, he stuns Ana, and Thompson blinks on top of the stun. So he gets caught by it, gets chain hexed, gets killed. And Ace just jumps forward and gets himself an easy no-tail. Very well played here, coming out from Smashers. Puck. You see him, Thompson just blinks in and just gets stunned instantly.
They're going to finish off the racks. Oh, they cancel out the Uber. They've decided that they want to stay here. And they'll get themselves a Soxa.
Very clean. 11-0-6 on Ace, looking much more comfortable on Wraith King. The whole team looking phenomenal on OG. They do get the Ags on the ET, but I think we may have reached a point where that Ags isn't going to have the effect that I think OG wants it to.
I think I'm just concerned with the amount of damage that's being dumped out here coming out from Ace. I have to say, you know, it's tough for Tofu. We talked about the fact that he is going to be, you know, primary save, and he does have to be very, very close, but he's managing it. And Gilger's position has just been fantastic here. Seb, look at Gilger. He's eager. You have to be a little careful, though. They're going to focus up on the objectives here on the side of Hellbear Smashers. Middle tower will go down. Do they want to push their luck here? Do they go back in, or do they?
I think they
play a
still
little
can
safe?
go. They are so strong right now, rallied around this. The Lesh now has reached points where he can't get burst. Bloodstone, Essence Ring, all this good stuff. Rasmus with the pipe and Crimson Guard. The damage just feels like it's nowhere near going to be there for OG. I am actually not really thinking they're going to kill many Heat targets at all. Maybe not even the supports in these next few fights.
Well, they're smoked up, and they're hoping that
We'll
they can
see.
get someone. I mean, Tofu and Rasmus are very far forward. Lion, Gilgear. Perhaps they can make something happen there. They get the Dream Coil off and the hold together, but No Tail immediately just absolutely crumbling as there's just so much damage, and the Earth Splitter not quite landing where they wanted to. They have a nice Dream Coil. Stormer buying himself just a little bit more time. Seb punching, trying to do everything. They just can't take down this Lion, as eventually they take down Seb. Ana already falling. Thompson somehow still alive, and over there the finger comes out, and down goes Saksa. Only
They can't even
Thompson.
kill a support. With every single spell thrown out there, the Crimson Guard, the pipe, all these heals from Tofu as well with this, the shield and the Mist Coil, they can't kill anybody. Even though they throw absolutely every spell, Gilger gets the initial blink to reposition himself with his team on the high ground.
Dagger, Gilgear jumping forward immediately. The E-Blade, though, coming out from the puck, hoping that they can blow up Gilgear, but they just can't seem to do it. And again, he's got that magic immune as they just start draining all the mana. Down goes Ana. No buyback for 78 seconds.
They're
Rasmus.
going to call it.
Yeah, there's the GG. Hellbear Smashers, 22 net worth lead, have managed to take down OG. They came from the lower division, and they're looking pretty good here in the upper now.
Yeah, this was a really good display, and just I think they should stick to their guns of just giving Ace these like hard carries rather than him playing something not traditional that he's not comfortable with, like that Ricky. They looked really good rallied around him, and honestly, Gilger, my God, these stuns, these hexes, absolutely on point, and just the quick reactions. That jump, so that wraparound there where OG is going for the play in mid, they're trying to catch that Lion so badly. Gilger gets the initial blink off to reset versus Haunt. The puck has to jump it to disarray into high ground, and it's just an excellent fight for Smashers. They're all rallied as a unit, as it felt like the whole game. They were just so good with their teamwork this time around, and OG, they just couldn't. They couldn't fight versus this.
Yeah, definitely Gilgear, one of the MVPs for me that match. Just his positioning was on point, and it makes me wonder now, you know, do you continue to pick up the puck here for Thompson? Because the lockdown that was coming out and those instant reflexes, the positioning was just so good. But I'm sure our panel has plenty to say about that match, so we're going to toss it over to them.
Thank you very much. Yes, there is a lot to talk about with this game, and we will do that after this. mad respect for Cap and Brian's plank action there. Also, mad respect for the Hellbear Smashers as they smash game 2 and take the series to the third game. We have a 1-1 score again with them against OG. You're watching DreamLeague Season 15 powered by Intel, because who else would be weird enough to do planks in a commercial break?
What we were doing there, Shiver, is illustrating the importance of core strength. See, some people... Some people are visual learners, right?
Yeah.
The importance of the strength of your cores. Give Ace a hard carry, baby. Just let him carry through the game for you. That's all you
can't
do.
believe you actually BS that your way to this point. As I will say,
that's my specialty.
Yeah, that is for sure. I am impressed with how fast Hellbear Smashers are playing in both of these games. So game 1, they did the same thing. They just didn't scale as well as we all said. And they can clearly keep on pace, if not stay ahead of pace compared to OG. And I'm starting to doubt Spectre. Seems like her laning stage is too fragile. I said I like the big base damage people. Underlord just absolutely free farms after getting tri-laned and killed 2 or 3 times. Eventually he just free farms, and then the Lesh and the Wraith King have very few heroes paying attention to them, so they get off to the start they need, and Hellbear Smasher's looking clean.
You know, I was wondering if maybe being out of breath would make Brian make his point shorter, but no, Brian just keeps going.
Well, we're going to give you guys a moment to breathe as we will listen to Purge, who has something to say about that game.
Thanks, Shiva. I'll try to keep together here. I think what was really important about what OG accomplished is that they had some really good fights. They killed Rasmus like literally a million times, but almost every skirmish that they had, they didn't quite get out scot-free ever much. Thompson getting this great double kill, line rotates over, gets him killed. Every engagement just didn't feel very clean or super easy to execute, for example. Here's another example where they killed Rasmus. This is his 5th death, I believe, at this point in the game. He got a relatively fast pipe just to make all the team fight and the burst a little bit weaker. But the problem is that almost every time, Hellbear Smashers hits back harder. Here's a gank on the Spectre. Pont ended up coming out at the same time as well, so they burned some important team fight stuff in the mid lane at the same time. Hey, there's Rasmus dying again, but again, he's accomplishing his job by casting pipe, throwing down an Earth Splitter, or throwing down a Pit of Malice and some nukes here, and every single time Hellbear Smashers hits back a little harder. An engagement in the jungle, this is a really nice thing about the draft for Hellbear Smashers. If the Abaddon and the Wraith King are up in the front, the ulti from Grimstroke just doesn't feel very good. Look at this. A lot of, they hit a double effective ulti. It's going to pop his first ulti, pop the ulti for Abaddon. But now the fight actually begins, and the big brunt of what Grimstroke wants to accomplish has already been thrown out, and it didn't really produce much. They do eventually kill Stormstormer here. They pick off the Abaddon finally, but again, they just don't really win these fights convincingly enough. And we see probably the best Inkswell I've seen in like 2 weeks of Grimstroke being picked every game with this fight. Spectre gets gone on directly. He pops his Blade Mail, his wand. He ends up dying. Here comes that beautiful Inkswell. Sep hits 4 heroes with this, and they do get some hero kills, but it still isn't enough for them to clean up the rest of the fight because most of their damage hasn't quite come through because the Spectre died right away and because Elder Titan just isn't farmed enough. And this just happened consistently, almost every engagement. Once again, OG engaging, try to limit prevent Wraith King from escaping, but they throw the chainsaw on him because he's like their only target because it's so hard to hit the back line when you have a Wraith King and an Abaddon support frontlining. The engagement looks kind of okay. There it is, the Grimstroke link on 2 heroes that literally don't matter. They're still fishing for kills, Ace on the backline is able to kill Elder Titan, which basically makes sure that even less damage is dealt by the enemy team. Lion is going to help guarantee that the puck ends up dying. Stormstormer isn't threatened at all here. And once again, Hellbear Smashers just wins these fights too convincingly. So great lineup to deal with the Grimstroke. Spectre felt ineffective, and Ace had tons of farm like usual, so they take the win.
They take the win, and it was totally with their comfort draft in their comfort zone, and it showed. They looked very good. Also, disclaimer: I can't do the normal plank. Don't have the 4 strength. It's okay. I've recently been told that if you can't do it, just start slow with the knee plank. So that's what I've been doing. Thank you.
All the people saying that in chat were the people that have never even tried a plank.
Yeah.
So don't take it too hard, Chiefs.
Yeah, my respect, both of you being able to just do that, especially the last 30 seconds.
You know what that was? It was just our competitive egos. Like,
Yeah,
we're
my
both dying
motivation
on the
was beating
inside,
Cap,
but
and
we needed to make sure that we weren't the ones that dropped first.
it didn't look like much was going on, like physically, but like mentally.
Yeah.
there was a lot
That's
going
where
on.
the real battle was. I believe there's also a mental battle going on for the Hellbear Smashers guys, because traditionally they have been able to take a game off of every opponent they've faced, but they've not been able to close out a series. Will they break that mental block? We're going to find out after the break. If you joined us with the late night arm pulses, then kudos to you. And if you didn't, that's pretty okay as well. We have Hellbear Smashers versus OG. It's game 3, and there's going to be a winning team in, well, it depends how long this game lasts. I was going to say in about an hour, but it could be 30 minutes. We don't know. It's all going to depend on how these teams are going to draft and play. And for that draft, we have one for you to show. I'm here with Cap. I'm here with BSJ. And so far, I must say, I've been impressed with Hellbear Smashers, because even the game they lost, they still looked really good in the lanes. And I think that both games, OG, they kind of fell flat there.
I also think OG's kind of setting themselves up to not have high-pace lanes, like the Spectre with the Grim. Yeah, Grim's a great kill support. They had the tiny tri-laning, but Spectre's not a carry you traditionally think, like, yeah, let's go kill people in the laning stage. Then you have this ET, who we thought was going to kind of run over the 2 melee heroes, ends up laning against a Lion rather than a Baton, and doesn't have a support. So I like immediately what OG's done to swap it up in game 3 compared to game 2, where they're like, okay, Shadow Demon Centaur is a high kill off lane already.
Yes.
Yeah, the fact they had that Roshan fight that we saw in Purge's breakdown analysis, he didn't even have the Aghanim Scepter. Like, they have to, I think in that game, they needed to put more priority on Seb, because he's going to be the one who, like, represents a damage threat and makes the puck feel really good. He just goes in there with his magic immunity, starts slamming on people, and he creates a lot of space as a result. But if you don't have that Aghanim Scepter yet, then your threat is really non-existent.
Yeah, and we have the answer to the question that Moxie asked at the end of the last game. Will we see Puck again for Topson? The answer is no, because Hellbear Smashers bans it. So we're going to see Topson on something else in this third game.
I remember saying that I thought Seb was going to carry game 2 with that ET.
Yeah.
That is what I truly want to see in game 3 now, because Centaur, I've been talking about it. He's a one-position offlaner for like the first 10 minutes of the game. He does not rotate. He kind of just sits with his Vanguard, killing a tower, killing creeps, and you will have a lot more farm priority. And that's what I want to see this game. You already said it. They're going to prioritize Seb. Now, we think he's set up for a game last game. Now, we already think he's kind of set up. Now, let's just see them. You know, give him it.
I think to add on to your point about him being a one position, it means the like Centaur's biggest downside is that if your other lanes go really badly, you as a core are the strongest on the map, but you can't actually rotate or feel good about your rotation.
Yeah, your Stampede is what makes you strong, which is reliant on your teammates being strong.
Exactly. So it's like, okay, like everyone just chill. I've got a Vanguard. I took their tower, but I need Blink Dagger.
Yeah.
Right? So you do have to make sure that your lanes are okay. And that is what I'm going to be looking for in OG's drafts, is that their safe lane or their mid matchup is good.
Yeah, I just like safe laners like Jug, you know? That's just an archetype example of, you know, I'm a Centaur, I'm going to do my own thing. You're good without me, right?
Yeah. Like Blitz likes to call him the Mario of Dota 2 draft. Juggernaut, you know, he just kind of like, he fits everything.
Yeah.
He gives you a little. Yeah. He's not really going to lose his lane.
Nobody's ever like super excited about it. But he's tried and true, you know?
Yeah, but now he's a Super Mario because he's been buffed up so many times.
Yeah, he had a mushroom or two.
Aghanim Scepters.
They do ban him out. I didn't see that because I wasn't looking at the draft. I was so busy engaging in philosophical Dota conversation with you.
The analogy, sure. So what do we want to see instead? Because there's so many more carries in the pool than what we saw before. As said in the previous draft, a lot of bans on cores, but not this time around. And to be fair, I really liked seeing Ace on that Wraith King. It is also still in the pool.
They might need to ban out the Faceless Void instead, though. Aren't you a bit afraid of the Void Invoker combo? Is there a chance OG will just draft Void third pick this game as well?
Aren't you afraid of Mars as well? Mars plus Dark Willow, plus it's a hero that locks people in, which is bad for Stampede.
A lot of combo potential here. There's the Mars ban. Cap.
I am super interested to see this Dark Willow in action, by the way, because OG banned it in the second phase twice.
Yeah.
So Hellbear Smashers, we said, like, they've got a few strategies that they just look like really clean and polished on. One is the Medusa, one is the Wraith King. Here they're going to be able to get their hands on the Dark Willow. So I don't know if I've seen their Dark Willow yet. It looks like they played it in one of the games against Secret. Oh, the game that they won with the Medusa. That's what it was.
Void Snap, right? Like, isn't that just a sick second round here for OG? Void Snapfire. I'm just nervous if you don't pick Void that Hellbear Smashers will take it. Maybe if you pick Void, they'll just pick Wraith King and you're not happy with that, so maybe that's what they're thinking. A lot of moving parts in this draft already. I think the funny thing about Willow Invoker is I don't see any synergy between these two heroes, but they have a lot of synergy with other heroes, like the Mars and the Void, that you have to worry about whenever you're picking. And in the second phase, when you're last pick overall team like OG, you're going to get countered pick to pick, and it's just really important to not lose the draft here.
So how do you, like, what do you do drafting wise to make sure you don't get countered pick to pick? Is it just picking heroes that are overall like okay no matter what? Do you want like a flexible hero that's like I could be 4, I could be 2?
It's just like you know what heroes go well with their lineup, so you don't want to pick heroes that are like also countered by those.
Okay.
That's the biggest part, because then they have a hero it hits the double whammy, right? And right now, I think because Void is good with Invoker, but they have Wraith King, which is good against Void to pick. If they do pick Void, it's like really troubling OG on exactly what they want to do.
They go for Warlock.
Yeah, pretty safe pick. We see a lot of it in NA, specifically. We've seen a decent amount of it in EU as well. I think this hero is broken. I'm surprised he's not prioritized more. He is a bit stationary, similar to Centaur, so OG's ability to make early moves is pretty much negligible, but their team fight eventually is going to be pretty nutty.
So somebody asked me that question, and my theory was that the reason it's picked up so much in NA is that Warlock tends to feel better in more stationary lanes, which is part of this meta is good for, but then also slightly slower metas. So it's the difference between fighting every 2 minutes versus fighting every minute, let's say, right? And I think NA tends to always be sort of that kind of meta style.
That's fair.
Pretty sure this is a preemptive Wraith King counter. Or they're afraid of Troll on the other team as well. Undying Troll, incredibly strong lane for shutting down the Centaur.
So is Void still a good option for the Hellbear Smashers here?
So if it's any other team, yes. I just haven't seen Hellbear Smashers pick Void, and Ace has definitely had a limited hero pool in terms of the team's success. I'm not saying Ace can't play other heroes, but they clearly play around his Medusa Wraith King better than anything else. They might just pick Wraith King despite it not being all that great against Troll because of that fact. I would be okay if they did that.
Yeah, we obviously also don't know in terms of like last season, Void wasn't really a hero.
Oh, damn.
Oh.
That's a counter pick right there.
That's
Against
an
Centaur,
ace
Yeah.
one too.
Against Centaur.
And they've got the reach of Warlock as well. Like the Golem can reach out and hit you with that stun. So
Okay, so why is this a counter pick? Why is this good? Why the
It's nice against Troll because he just has no way to remove any of your stuff, and because of the Abyssal Blade nerf, he needs to like buy a Blink Dagger to ever get on top of you, and then he also needs like an MKB to hit inside of the bubble.
yeah, you can't reposition yourself when you pop your ultimate. Once you're hitting a target, you can't be like, oh, I don't want to hit him from here. I want to be inside of the bubble.
Yeah, you can actually
like,
just put the bubble between you and
there.
him.
Yeah. Okay, fair.
It's kind of interesting. I don't see too much Arc Warden, but this is an incredibly greedy draft from Hellbear Smashers.
Yeah, and that's super
I will say
concerning
that.
for me, right? Because we just watched them. The strength that they showed in Game 1 and
Was the
Game 2 is they were outpacing OG, and now they're taking the opposite, and especially for a team that is not as established, that isn't, secured themselves, we're one of the top 4 teams in Europe or whatever, that versatility of play style is always a bit of a toss-up, right?
I want to see a Sand King ban from OG, and I want to see... It's another offlaner that would give Troll some issues.
10 seconds remaining.
The funny part is they chose Troll, and Axe Dark Willow is really good, but you're against Shadow Demon, so that doesn't work. Tidehunter is probably too slow.
Brew was a nice ban, actually.
Wait. Why
So-
doesn't that work for Dark Willow?
What?
You said Axe Dark Willow is really good, but doesn't work against Shadow
No, so Axe Dark Willow is really good.
Oh, you mean
but-
Axe the hero? I'm like, wait,
Yeah,
what?
sorry.
Yeah, okay. My bad.
Yeah,
was
Warlock,
very confused
Shadow
there for a
Demon, not
second.
support you want to play Accent.
No.
Hard counter initiation save supports is Axe's weakness.
Did we like the Underlord?
They don't have any point-and-click stuns just yet.
Yeah, that's why I thought Underlord would be nice for them, but they do need stuns. They need disables to set up this Willow Invoker.
So as far as offlaners go that do that, then Slardar is in still.
Slardar
A
against...
Sand King?
That lane
Slardar
might be
against
hard.
Troll would be miserable in terms of
Yeah.
the lane itself. That's a
Pango
really hard-
does okay in this matchup. Like, he likes playing against Troll. They don't have any instant punishes against him.
I want
But
to see Sand King.
I think Sand King is much better, for sure.
I'm very surprised that I guess they respect the Night Stalker. Like, they've seen Hellbear Smashers win with it. Maybe I'm missing something. I think out of all the lane duos, Sand King's the most likely to be picked for Rasmus. Like, we've seen him play it.
5 seconds.
It's just a point-click stun. It's a hero with innate mobility against Shadow Demon, which is always nice for the Disruption Purge combo.
One nice part that they did really well on is picking this Undying, I think, for this Arc Warden when you already have the Invoker as well. You need something to provide you a little bit of frontline because the heroes that we're talking about, Sand King, Pango, that help fix their draft a little bit, they aren't necessarily frontliners in that regard.
So we mentioned Underlord, but now they just don't have stuns. I want to see Thompson on a mobile hero that just runs rampant. I want to see it. They banned out the Void Spirit. I want to see Ember or Storm and just
any of the
carry this game. It's a little annoying, the root from Underlord, but it's just not the same as an actual disable, because you can buy a BKB at some point and you just don't die until maybe like Arc Warden buys a sheep, like which is 35 minutes plus. This is the perfect set. They're giving it to Thompson if he just picks some unkillable nuisance here.
They have decided it will be the anti-mage.
Oh, mid-troll. That's what they're going to do, mid-troll.
Yep, Humble God on the AM.
I did not expect that.
I bet neither did Hellbear Smashers.
Well, that is an unkillable dude from the safe lane. I was just theory crafting all the ones in the mid lane.
Yeah, they don't have good magic damage, right? They don't have good they're heavily reliant on magic damage. They don't have the best lockdown for any mage. It's a hero that gets on top of the Arc War, and the question is just like, what is this troll mid gonna do for you, right? He can get a shard.
Buy a Mage Slayer.
He can get a shard and battle frenzy Animage.
That's true.
Arc Warden for Ace though.
Anti-Mage does have really good individual core-to-core matchups here. I've been doubting Anti-Mage because of the ability of the opponent to just kind of group up as 5. The question is whether or not OG can prolong this game long enough, because Anti-Mage will be able to kind of just blink around the map at will. There's really no way to kill him, so I think they'll do a better job this game. Anti-Mage will capitalize on a bit of space much more than Spectre.
Okay.
But I don't know. I'm not too confident now after watching Game 2 with Hellbear Smashers.
If we take it back to the lanes, because that's where the Hellbear Smashers looked good in all of the games, are they set up for success there again?
What, they've got Underlord, Dark Willow against AM, Warlock.
Yeah.
AM's AM's going to be fine because he's got Warlock in that. Troll matchup against Invoker, I have to imagine, is going to be okay for Invoker. He's going to be able to rotate a lot more. Like, if lanes go kind of okay for him, like, the Invoker can have a huge impact around the map, whereas I don't see, like, the rotation power of OG. Like, what do their supports do in that regard?
Moves.
Warlock,
Literally
Shadow
nobody.
Demon, like, none of those heroes have an impact. I think Stormer carries this game, honestly.
I think he could. Yeah.
It's going to be too greedy, I guess, for OG, you'd call it, because they can't move.
Yeah, just in terms of stationary, I think Invoker's going to be the one guy that leaves his lane.
Yep.
Okay.
First, like, 10 minutes.
Can Stormer do it for his team? Will the Hellbear Smashers take the first series of their second season of DPC? We're going to find out together with Moxie and Fogged.
All right, Fogg, we've got a little bit of an unconventional mid lane here now that we have that troll. But I have a question for you, because I was looking up shards, and I took a look at the Arc Warden shard. How common do you think this is going to be? Is this something that we're going to see picked up? Because it sounds interesting, right?
Yeah, I think it sounds interesting in practice, or in theory, but I think in practice it's maybe just weird. I don't know, actually. I haven't seen too much Arc Warden, so maybe we do get blessed with it, and I hope to learn quite a bit about Arc Warden, because Ace is one of those specialists. You know, this is one of his most played heroes. At one point, he was spamming all the micro heroes, we always called it for Ace. His Meepos, his Arc Warden, Broodmother, etc. He did love to play, and the cheese heroes. He loved playing Huskar and Arc Warden and stuff like that, so I hope to learn something, because I'm not sure how this hero fits right now. It's not been doing so well in DPC either. I think it's like 2 and 4, maybe worse than that.
I believe Fogged is underwater now. He sounds like he has disappeared into the abyss. Hopefully, the mic situation. No, you're all right now. All right. Excellent.
Okay, maybe I did fall into the abyss.
You went in for just for a moment, though. You know, just checking out the dark side here, the dark moon side. But,
yeah, just I'm not too sure what to think of the Arc Warden, really, because I'm not sure overall what the hero, like, usually it's just played for the most part versus those like heavy ranged carries, right? Versus your Terrorblades, your Drows, etc. like that, versus high art versus like some of these squishier kind of heroes too that can't close the gap on top of you. So I don't know. I hope to learn quite a bit here. It seems like it could be a pretty tough game for that Arc Warden. I do feel like OG, they raised the greed. When they saw greed coming out from Smashers, they're like, all right, we'll just one up you with greed by picking AM versus Invoker and Arc Warden.
But what does this mid troll really hope to accomplish, I guess, here? Because that's what our panel was a little bit stumped on. They're trying to kind of theory craft, but it's not really that clear, right?
Yeah, they have played it though in the past, right? Like this is something that OG used to love to play. Just pick it just because your lane overall is quite strong, especially into something like an Invoker who doesn't put the pressure onto a hero like Troll. I think Thompson should just be able to farm pretty nicely here. But he can't slow down Stormstormer too much either. Stormstormer should be able to just like pull the creep aggro constantly and just get easier harass trades because of that quas built in.
Yeah, and on the bright side too, for the side of OG, you know, the lockdown is exceptionally light for a while coming out from the Smashers. You know, usually when you see a Troll, you want something that's going to be able to kind of disable him while he's trying to go into his ultimate. Or in the case of an anti-mage, you know, you need that lockdown. You need to make sure that you have some way to make sure that, you know, you slow him down and you can get your hands on him. And that's not really something that we're seeing coming out from this draft here for the Smashers.
Yeah, Smashers literally have like 0 stuns. They have roots. They have Cursed Crown and Cold Snap as their 2 stuns, which are not really the most reliable, and also just completely prevented by BKB. Once, if and when OG does go for those 2 items, it will be pretty massive. As my God, Thompson's actually crushing mid right now. He's 5-3 to the 1-2 of Stormstormer.
Ooh, yeah, that definitely does not feel good for this Invoker, as he is the one that everyone's got to keep their eyes on and needs to kind of pop off.
Yeah, Troll's strong laning, that strong animation, and that strong base damage is working out for him right now. Does take some time, of course, though. Quaswax first 2 levels usually tend to be pretty one-sided for the opposing one. Then once you get like level 3, level 4, starts to get quite a bit better. Since they have to spend money on regen to counteract you and you don't, you know, last hits sometimes look a little bit one-sided on that mid matchup.
And poor Notail was trying to get that pull-off, only managed to grab one of the melee creeps in that process here.
Gilger gets the last hit on it.
Yep.
Hell yeah. You love to see that, you know, just anything that you can get, any extras. They're already level 2, so Notail might actually eat some heavy harassment from Gilger here.
Yeah, that definitely looks to be the case. He takes a couple clicks. But not sure where we're going to see that first blood necessarily, though. Where do you think is the most likely place that we'll see it?
It's like Tofu. He's a very high chance nobody, actually. I think we're going to have a pretty boring lane setup. Just if Tofu gets disrupted out of position and they have the double edge and the stomp and they have enough chase, they'll kill this Undying. But on the other lanes, yeah, I don't think anyone else is going to die.
It was very, very specific in the way that they had to set that up there. But we are going to see plenty of harass, especially, you know, Ana's going to have a little bit of difficulty, I think, down here. But he has a Warlock with him, so should be able to, you know, get that regen right back up again and sustain here in lane. But mid lane, man.
Yeah, this is he's doing really well. Those denies are the biggest thing too. He literally just goes for straight damage, right? So he brings the Band of Elven Skin, now he brings the Wraith Band, just all about that little bit of extra damage. This Invoker is limited. We'll connect with a nice Cold Snap though, and an EMP.
Yeah, plenty of harass here coming out from Stormstormer.
And wow, Seb actually not getting the most last hits right. He does have 4 creeps coming into him, but so far up top, he's the one who's actually falling behind out of the course.
A little bit surprising there about that.
Yeah, definitely. I think they've gotten some little side pulls and stuff like that that I didn't actually know. Saksa can't get the career he tried.
An A for effort, for sure here. How often have we seen these Shadow Demons really pop off in games? Like, obviously, you know, it's picked up mostly for, you know, the saves and whatnot, but I feel like we haven't seen a lot of teams winning with it.
No, definitely not. I saw like Hanskin that one game, of course. That's the one that stands out versus the Void. He had such a spectacular performance with all his disrupts. But yeah, I've been waiting to see some more Shadow. I love this hero. I really do. I think he has some untapped potential, but he's a very specific hero. He's tough to make work because it's a 4 without a stun. So you have to have a stun built into at least 1 or 2 of your other cores. As the poisons are stacking up.
Got about 3 of them over here on both of the Smashers. Just gonna back off. Not quite gonna be able to land that 4th one, unfortunately. Again, it's just a game of harass as we do get some nice fatal bonds here in the bottom lane. But again, it's just chip damage. They're just trying to make space. It's kind of interesting too to note this time around they're not bothering to do any sort of like a tri lane here for Ana over on the side of OG. That's something that they have been doing fairly often in the past.
Yeah, I think it actually hurt them quite a lot in that last game, though. Like, I could understand why, because they like having it when they do have that, like, super hard carry, but Seb was, like, bottom 2 net, where Seb had no game because of it, so I like that they're actually helping Seb out, because whenever he does have a game, we see what he can do. Like, he actually can be pretty explosive and help out the team a lot. He was having a pretty quiet game last time.
I mean, that is one of the nice things too here. Although they are going to set up here with the disruption. Seb get the stomp off. Get a couple hits off. But again, Tofu fairly tanky there with the fact that he does have those 4 stacks of decay. So just a little bit of harass. Not much mana left on him though. And speaking of no mana, Thompson is also very much hurting in that mid lane in terms of any sort of spell casting there.
Yeah, it looks like Seb, he's just gone for the... I mean, we've been seeing this a lot, but I thought perhaps because they saw if Tofu gets out of position, he'd hold skill points, but he put 2 in retaliate. Now he does have double edge. They actually find the Arc Warden.
Get the stomp off plus the double edge. We'll go the throw out that flux over there. Ace just ticking down at last second. The Saksa gets himself the kill as Tofu's chasing. He's very tanky. He's got 8 stacks up.
Gotta watch your stacks. Saksa got the 4 stacks on him. He was not careful on Ace.
A little bit of a tornado here over the mid lane. Stormer was going to be able to scout out the arcane rune, snap that up.
Fine. You see behind 33 to 14 on the wall. That will actually control.
Gonna be honest with you, Fog, you're having a couple moments here where you just disappear into that shadow realm.
Might be having some internet issues. Sorry about that.
That happens. I know I have been there myself. But if I don't respond sometimes, that's going to be why. I'm sure you're giving us very, very good insight, though.
No problem, Mox.
Middle lane, though, some of those whirling axes tossed out here by Thompson. Stormer just clicking away here. But if we take a look at the net worths currently, definitely seeing a bit of a trend going over to the side of OG.
Okay, hopefully I'm back, and hopefully it's not too underwater. Sorry about that.
It's all right.
Just having a couple issues, I think. Yeah, we see like they're actually doing really well on all 3 lanes. The double ring of health on the side lanes, sustaining versus the damage. Seb has Vanguard, so he's just going to be chilling up here. Has Stampede now online, so Stampede could net them some kills in these side lanes.
Is it worth it to start to, rotate some of these heroes up, trying to put pressure over on the tower and slow down Ace a bit?
No, I think if you're OG, like I think the onus is going to be on Smashers for the most part of this game to put the pressure on, because AM overall in this game, he'll win out. There's no stuns for an anti-mage. He's versus Arc Warden and Invoker, 2 heroes he gets on top of. I think it's going to be up to Smashers to really pressure and look to actually slow down OG.
Well, they're definitely putting out the harass over here. Ana having to be careful, though, because that Firestorm, he's sitting very, very low. He's got that ring of health. Oh, the creeps, though, over here on the side. The tornado sidestepped here. Oh, still, Stormer will be able to get the final hit off, as now No Tail running for his life. So Rasmus just whacking away over here. Stormer needs a little bit more damage, and No Tail's just going to use the Shadow Word to heal up and hide behind this tower.
Ana being too over-aggressive, just comes with his name, I think. Just hitting Rasmus too long. Stormer sees an opportunity. He seizes it. And they're going to get really good damage on bottom tower here with this Atrophy Aura damage.
They are sending Ana back down here, though, to push them off at the tower. Open up with a Tornado EMP into that Pit of Mal, so they'll have a little bit of control. Not a lot of mana here, though, left here for Ana. He's just getting chased down and bullied away from this tower.
He just got back here and he just lost everything. Like, he's down to 300 HP. He's got the heal, but man, he can't blink. He can't actually posture aggressively at all. This tower's dead. Vanguard Underlord tanks it for free. No cares.
Easy peasy. Top
Seb
lane,
top, he's
Seb.
tanky, but...
Yeah, they'll drop plenty of these spark rates over here as Seb just teleports away, though. And again, that is the problem with the draft coming out. Where are those stuns? As the bottom lane, though, they're just putting so much damage over on Ana. They need another click or two, and he's healing up thanks to that Shadow Word. Looks like he's going to be able to escape, but definitely doesn't feel good to be bullied out of your own lane.
No, I love that Stormer is making these moves. He gives Gilgir the lane since they're not pressuring the AM with the Dark Willow. So Willow's getting XP mid. They take bottom tower, and they're actually slowing down Ana's farm. I really love that. I love these moves from Stormer. Playing this Quaswex very comfortably.
And again, like you said, in the past we've seen him primarily just play Exort. So
yeah,
the way that he's making these moves is really showing, growth as a player and a good understanding of what he needs to be doing here. Rasmus. He's getting chased after by both of these supports. Let's couple these stacks up. Ana jumping forward. You can see the teleports are coming out, but they're not going to get there in time. So Ana will finally have some revenge against the bullies in his lane.
Saksa incredibly high level and a lot of farm. Looks like he did farm up a triple camp at some point in the game just to get himself that good early advantage. Another thing that we see from some Shadow Demon players that you don't see too often. You can farm stacks really easy. Look at this. He's already starting out a second one, so he will be able to get good item timings on him.
It always feels good when you can do something like this. You're not taking anything away from your cores. You're still getting yourself some, you know, money and XP.
And he's helping No-Tail, right? Like, No-Tail's taking XP from it too, so the Warlock almost level 6. Gilder.
Working together here. The Curse Crown does proc, but he's just going to get rooted into place the Brambles. They've got the Terrorize. Oh, that is unfortunate indeed, yes. But is going to need some help as Stormstormer makes his own rotation. Tornado EMP, they get the net off, though, over here on the Dark Willow. Gilgir needs a little bit of help. They go and they drop that Chaotic Offering, so they'll find that kill. Now Stormstormer, he needs help, and he's not going to be able to get it in time because they just run him down, and No-Tail gets the kill.
And Thompson's aggressive play pays off. Actually gets them a secondary one with the rotations. And No-Tail, he does hit 6 off of that creep wave mid because they farmed the jungle together too. Huge hit, really, from OG. And that's what the mid troll is going to do. He's going to go Ags, and he's just going to dispel these annoying spells that there are a lot of to dispel. The Brambles, Curse Crown, Invoker's Cold Snap, etc. All right.
Look at this tower. The pressure is on Soxa in position. There are quite a few TPs coming out, though, as Soxa starts backing away. Stormstormer, they have a idea that he's hiding around, but they do have a nice deep ward here, so Soxa just running as fast as he can. Does eventually get clipped by the Tornado. EMP, Brambles down, and Disruption comes out. It's going to buy him a little bit more time and some space, but eventually Stormstormer will slay.
You don't mind that at all. Soxa's like, okay, I pulled 3 heroes toward your base. My AM is hitting your top tower. My Warlock is stacking. My Troll is farming. I think OG's perfectly fine with a death like that.
You can see now Ana making this rotation up to the top lane, placing some pressure here. They have a nice ward. They do know that Rasmus is nearby, already placing that down, of course, earlier for Stormstormer. Nice stacks, though, over here coming out from the side of OG.
Yeah, Seb going to be nicely enabled. Vanguard Hood, pretty much unkillable in this game with this build-up already, and he's going to be quick for the blink, and they see the real Ace bottom. 15 seconds left on his TP, and they have Stampede, too. Ace
look at the way they're playing this. Hiding in the tree line.
The scan, it did catch them, so Ace will back away nicely there. Great scan coming up from the Smashers to keep him alive. Would have been an easy kill if they got on him. And now they can push top too. Stormstormer pops the Alacrity, starts hitting the tower.
Nice plays coming out here from the Smashers to make sure that, you know, they're playing at that high tempo. It's a little bit concerned about this when you consider the fact, you know, it is a bit greedy, but, you know, greed answers greed here in this particular series.
It does. This is one of the greedier drafts I've ever seen. Like AM and Troll on one side versus Invoker and Arc Warden. It's unbelievably greedy.
Pressure on here at this top area. Nice Tornado EMP going over onto Thompson. Sure that he doesn't have any mana available. Does have some wand charges, though, at the very least, but Stormstormer still just chipping away. There's only so much that these two supports can really do as well, so backing off a little. Just putting pressure down, making space for Ace.
Yeah, and look at Seb's positioning. Like, he's just farming the enemy triangle right now as the Centaur, so they're getting this farm around the triangle. They're also farming their triangle. Their AM is farming. Like, the Smashers, they have to start putting some pressure on. I'd like that they're hitting this top tower to force some type of reaction. Because, yeah, it does feel like they have to start making some moves. This AM is getting too much space.
And you know what happens when Ana gets space? Ana goes diving into the fountains.
Especially when it's an anti-mage versus almost 0 stuns.
Head of Malice. Another Tornado EMP combo. Do have to be careful, though. No-Tail is standing nearby. Getting into a good position. Soxa picking up the haste.
Oh, haste, invulnerability in this game, right?
Yes,
no stuns. As long as he doesn't get brambled, he'll be fine with that haste to run away. Ace will port bottom and push out Ana from that bottom tower. And the rest of Smashers still looking to try to pressure this mid tower. They want to get some type of advantage versus the AM because they know he doesn't want to show up. So they know they're playing effectively kind of 4v5. So Ace can show up with an illusion.
The big tanky boy versus big tanky boy over here with Seb and Rasmus.
They just like ran into each other a little bit there for a second. They're both having fun with it.
I mean, what are they going to do to each other? Everyone else just has to stand back. They both have healers on their side.
He denies the range creep. There you go. That's how you get him. Good job, Seb. Yeah, I love seeing this. Like, they just can't push. Both of them tank heroes standing against each other. Ana Jumps on the high ground.
They have the... Oh, they did it! They managed to go and land the fear! A nice play here coming out from Smashers.
Great Sunstrike for the vision.
All right, well, that's a little time here for the Smashers to be a bit more aggressive, knowing that Ana is not farming during this time, and more pressure in the mid lane. Saksa trying to put out some of that poison.
Seb has Blink Dagger. This could catch Smashers a bit off guard here. They're really trying to push forward for this tower. Tomb is down. Tomb is down.
They don't have tops in here, though. They've got the bubble up.
No.
Thrall's getting very, very close, though, to that Ags. Rasmus whacking away. Tower will go down in mid. And
Nice.
Smashers seem satisfied with that. Tofu gonna take the opportunity to drop a ward or two off to the side. But there it is. There's the Ags on the Troll.
All right, I mean, he's got so many different things to dispel, as we were saying before. You know, all of the Willow spells that are annoying, Cold Snap, whatnot. So it's going to be a pretty strong pickup. We've seen him do it in the past, and someone on the panel said this. Troll's going to go Mage Slayer. He's going Mage Slayer.
Yeah, I think it was the Banana Slamma Jamma who said, just get a Mage Slayer. Easy.
He's done it in the past. Sure, you're playing versus like only magic damage. There's really just like no physical that's coming out on the Hellbear Smasher side. So if he wants this to be a deterrent, just to make his anti-mage go berserk in the game, sure. Go for this, then get your shard later on, get a rampage for your AM too. That's what the ability is called, not the 5 kills, of course.
Tofu is trying to, and he does eventually break the smoke. You're okay with this, I think, if you're Smashers, because this is, of course, your position 5, who's still alive, actually. They haven't managed to kill him off.
He's tanky.
A very nice Tornado EMP. The disruption comes out here from Soxa, going to try to buy them just a little bit more time here. We'll get a TP rotation. Drop the tome. But again, when you have nothing to hold people in place, they're just able to just saunter on out and reset after this is over. Although Rasmus is waiting, looking to see if he can find him, and does run into No Tail, so they'll get the Pit of Malice off, and they'll go and use the Stampede to run him out. They're not willing to take this engagement, not at this time.
All time for Ana. You know, he's got Battle Fury. He's getting this farm online. It's going to start getting to scary points for Smashers pretty quickly. See Stormstormer, he's queuing up the Midas. He knows he needs to be able to scale into these later stages versus this AM, but yeah, OG's just kind of dancing around them for the moment.
Tempest double down here, just clearing up some creep waves as the real ace, of course, is in the top lane.
That was the nice thing about Arc Warden. At least you're denying some farm from the enemy carry too, because you are taking farm from the scary side of the map. I'm still just wondering when the Arc Warden is ever going to be able to like turn up and fight as Seb.
I don't know, but I mean, this might be it. He might come fight now because they've got the Curse Crown, they've got the Bedlam. Yeah, in comes Ace along with Stormstormer, and there you go. There's your answer to your question, Fog. Right
Gets
now.
himself a freebie. Hey, still, he's keeping himself way above on that net worth for sure. I'm just wondering, like, when the fights do kick off, like, how's his positioning going to be? It's going to be hard because they're playing it to Stampede. So I feel like it's going to be so crucial for him to stay so far in the back because they have so many ways to get on him, and he is so fragile. So I'm going to have to be watching, in particular, like, Rasmus just blanketing him. Like, Rasmus and Tofu have to protect this Arc Warden with their lives.
Well, I mean, we talked about this in the second game, right? We saw the Abaddon coming out, and it's very, very difficult, of course, for the melee, the melee heroes to be able to go and just get these saves out, get the heals. But Tofu did a great job in the last game, so.
Mm-hmm. And Soul Rip is just way longer cast range, so he can play further away. As another D ward. I didn't talk about it in the last game, but because it was like Smashers had such good fights and everything, but my god, the ward control by Tofu in this series is unbelievable. He seems to always know where OG's got their vision. Like, he's winning the warding game in this series so far.
It's always fun to watch. I know Windstrike also does a lot of very unusual warding coming out and seem to have a good grasp of where the most common spots are.
Yeah.
No-Tail doing a little bit of his own dewarding though.
Hey, vision really can be everything. And, you know, No-Tail, he does have one sneaky ward right now inside the enemy triangle, so they do watch Stormstormer farming, and they are going to be aware, if they do see it, that he's gone for Midas. So greed raises greed.
They're invading though. It's Tofu showing himself immediately. Gets slowed down, then there's that Pit of Malice, the root coming to play. Go and pop the flash golem, but it's a nice follow-up with that chaotic offering. But over on the back line, Stormstormer, nice disruption coming out. The Tofu is just circling around this area. He drops that tombstone, and he's just surviving somehow during all of this here. As Thompson, he's trying to just beat him down, but it's proving to be a bit too difficult as Thompson eventually does fall. They can't take down Tofu. He's too tanky, and now No-Tail is just trying to shuffle away as fast as possible. They've got the Atos, though, over here on Rasmus, though. They should be able to get this kill on No-Tail.
What a boss, Tofu. Oh my god. The deafening blast to protect him too at the disarms, but mostly him just saving himself. He gets the Holy Locket, he gets the extra heals from the Soul Rip 1 or 2 times, and beautiful tomb positioning.
Ooh,
that was just really nice. Seb?
They have the disruption at the very least. They'll protect. But he blinked forward? Blinked forward? I don't know. It was a little,
That's my new word.
I don't know. We'll go with it. We'll roll with it. But he definitely put himself in a bit of a vulnerable position there if it wasn't for the Shadow Demon.
Yeah. Ace, he's got his timings continue to grow. He's got the Mjolnir done. He's got Butterfly queued up. That's okay. I haven't seen that one. Not that early, especially not on an arc order, not second item. And he's got Growth Bow, so he's got a nice, probably the best neutral item on an arc order for most of the game. But yeah, that Butterfly, that'll be interesting if he does go for that.
I mean, no one really wants to pick up MKB over there, but Seb.
It's true.
Poking away. To drop down all of those lovely brambles as Tofu's just poking at him. They'll use the Terrorize, force him out, but that goes right back into another circle as Thompson is indeed here. Gonna try to protect him. The Atos, man, they have a lot of just roots, like we said before. Stormstormer trying to interrupt there with a nice throw. Seb, it's taking a long time, but eventually they do manage to slay him.
He just couldn't move at all. My God, like just brambles, the poor zombies beating on him as well. Thompson goes and starts hitting to him, and he's like, yeah, see you later, Seb. You're dead.
I'd rather not.
Yeah. But still, Ana is still farming on the sidelines of everything, though. It's still that scare, this anti-mage threat with your 2 cores who are very vulnerable to AM. It still is excellent core matchups for this anti-mage, all things considered. Even though Smashers, they've got this 7-4 lead, you still have to keep that in thought. You have to be prepared for the later stages and have some type of plan for the anti-mage when he joins the game.
This is interesting here. Do have the double damage over on Ace, but there are quite a few people off to the side. I'm not sure if they're quite aware of this, although walking underneath that ward, of course, will make them very aware.
Oh, they're going to be able to start the Roche.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Get the bubble up.
They killed it fast as well.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they're going to be able to quite make it there on time. They're on their way. I don't know about this, though. Final hit. Yeah, Ace is going to be the one who snatches it up, though. The Radiant get the kill on Roshan. No-Tail immediately evaporated, but he's already dropped the Chaotic Offering as Ana trying to jump in onto the back lines, and everyone's sitting low, but they don't just quite have enough damage here. So they'll turn right back around. Down goes Saksa, the Deafening Blast over here onto Ana. Over on the back lines, though, Thompson, he's trying to man-fight over here. Just going to be able to get the kill onto Tofu. Rasmus also sitting over into the bubble. The jump forward here coming up from Steph. They've got their eyes over onto Ace. They should be able to blow him up. Oh, Curse Crown, though, buys just a little bit more time. As down he goes.
And they do, this is what I was worried. It's like when the Arc Warden shows up, sure, they get Roche, they get this Aegis and everything, but what does an Arc Warden do? And they just jump on him. They get on top of him, and Ana just freely attacks him. So they do this great play to get that, but you see the way the fight goes down. Thompson's unkillable. This anti-mage is uncontrollable, so he jumps past the fight to force reactions, and you see all of them running up to chase him, which just puts everybody in a really difficult position because they're all fatal bound together still too. So Thompson wreaks havoc, Ana just keeps jumping and going back in, waiting for Seb.
I mean, that's usually how you like to see Thompson playing, you know, in a lot of the games with the puck. He's very, very skirmishy, although do try to make some plays over here into Ana. Again, the lockdown is a little bit lacking here.
Tower is under attack.
And yeah, he's fully committed for Butterfly on this Arc Warden too. So this evasion, it'll help when this anti-mage does get on top of you and all that, but I'm still just feeling he's so fragile. I don't know what he's gonna really do once they get on him. Sure, he's gonna be tanky versus physical, but they also do have a good mixture coming out.
They do indeed. Seb in the top lane, just gonna mess with that Tempest double. But Ace dishing out a decent amount of damage. Does time out.
1 or 2 more fights like that, and Smashers may just lose their window of this game, really. I don't know what I don't really know how they can what they can do with the Arc Warden though to apply more pressure or just to not really worry about the anti-mage. That's the one thing. It's like I'm really trying to think about it, but they just don't have the control. So.
All right, here, Tofu. We'll break that smoke. Good force staff away. They're still hunting, though, hoping they can get their hands on Saksa, but they'll use the Stampede. But Ana's over here in the mid lane, and he just continues to be a nuisance.
Yep. He's just going to cut these waves. Seb also cutting top, gets a good chunk of farm in. Bottom, they're starting to pressure this tier 2, but Glyph is forced.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
I really hope I'm going to see some wondrous thing from the Arc Warden, because I feel like it's building up like this nice net worth and everything for them, but it's for what? Like, how's he actually going to be able to fight toe-to-toe versus AM? And okay, so he's got BKB queued up after, so I guess it's just going to be the group up around the Arc Warden mentality then. Just so he's this heavy right clicker who's immune or resistant to a lot of that physical, and then they just rally around him.
Oh, they're bringing the fight over. They'll use the Tempest double up first. They'll go and throw out some of these Tornadoes, EMPs. They go and they drop the Chaotic Offering. We'll push back a little bit, and they do have some nice Fatal Bonds on the back line, but again here, Ato's getting tossed out by Rasmus. Ana the entire time, though, still just pushing in those waves over in the mid lane. It looks like
it's just a rock to stall.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, it kept them away from their buildings.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it definitely did the job for Ana to continue getting the split push on. He's got Manta. Should be just fine.
Doesn't have any of the backup there either. Look how it's a bit greedy here, considering he's going to walk right into Stormstormer. Stormstormer just gives him a little poke.
Yeah, he's nope. It just continues to be the same thing for AM, right?
Yeah.
So AM versus just literally like 0 stuns. So he's got so much freedom. He's waiting for the double actually to finish TPing up top as he's going to try cleaving it down a little bit. Does have a butterfly though, so he actually can't just fight toe-to-toe versus that Arc.
There's a double damage rune available over here on the bottom river spot.
That's pretty huge.
Oh, they get the deny off though.
Okay.
It's just the illusion. Now they know. They're smoked up and nearby. But they're hunting, they're combing.
Ana commits. He had BKB queued up. I think he was contemplating it, but he just goes for the full Scotty. Playing versus 2 ranged heroes, the Scotty's just that much more beneficial. If he gets on top of them, they can't move. Does mean he won't have True Strike for a long time versus that butterfly, but...
Find an opening here over on the Troll. Tornado EMP tossed out. They're backing off, though. Rasmus, though, starts going forward again. Trying to get some information here over on the side of Smashers.
OG doesn't want to fight under Tombstone, especially when it's on high ground like that. They avoid that situation. Ana continues to hit some creeps.
Words are... a lot of information over here. They go up. Looks like they're going to pick up a smoke over on No Tail.
They keep everyone's just poking their heads inside that pit. We still have about 3 minutes though until we find out how long it will be respawning. Smashers still looking for somebody to try to catch. Just really trying to apply pressure onto mid and bottom with Ace.
Yeah, they're just not letting anybody kind of show up though. As Ana continues, just pushing out the waves. And when there's just a lack of lockdown on the enemy team, he's allowed to do this. They will force the issue a little bit, though. See, they put the Underlord very far forward here, just trying to put some damage down. Courage coming out. And
it's a stall. Delay until the anti-mage feels like he's got a good moment to jump in. Stormstormer, we have to watch his mana pool. Gotta watch your mana levels. We are playing versus that mana void.
Just all the disruptions coming out. Rasmus putting down another root. And again, it's just a slow siege. They have to be careful, though. They don't stack up too many levels of the Shadow Poison. Just circles on circles here.
He's got the top tier 2. He's working on the tier 3 now.
It's just, they just keep, it's just 2 different people hitting different bases. My goodness. When are they going to hard commit on this? Okay, there it is. There's a big Chaotic Offering dropped, and good stuff here from Seb as they get them all just linked up over here on the side. Rasmus taking a lot of damage. Is going to get saved here by Tofu. They're going to try to group up right back again. They get off a nice terrorize. Everybody gets in the car, and they are out of here.
But the Rax is dying.
They have to go deal with Ana, though. And where's your control? Who's going to grab them?
My God, that was scary for a second. I think all 5 were bound together, right? The Fatal Bonds, I think, clicked on every single one of them.
And they were clicking down pretty hard. Tofu came in clutch with that
scary.
save, though, over on Rasmus with the the heal, because otherwise I don't think they're making it out of there if their driver's dead.
Yeah, it's like 700 something healing or more that comes out from that Soul Rip, plus in combination with Holy Locket too. So it is crazy how much it is going to top these heroes off when they are pushing, but gotta be careful.
Big Fatal Bonds, the stomp from Seb, and look how low during all of this that Rasmus gets.
Like, imagine if the anti-mage comes in and gets a Mana Void. That's the fear that's going through Smasher's side. If he Mana Voids the Invoker there, it might just be a Rampage. So they'll be having to be careful as this anti-mage is almost catching up to the Arc Ordnance farm. He's going to have BKB, so now he probably feels nice and ready to join inside of those fights every single time.
And that's pretty scary considering how well OG has been managing to take these fights without him.
Yeah, they're just stalling. And now they've got a pretty big item also for Thompson. He's got MKB, so if he gets inside of that Arc Ordnance bubble, he's going to evaporate him.
Well, they won't have the Chaotic Offering for a little bit longer here, so perhaps they'll bide their time. But I'm sure Roche is the next big objective for everyone. It's going to be the big fight. But smoke coming out from the side of Smashers. They're hoping to catch someone. I'm sure they would love to catch the anti-mage, but I don't think that Ana is going to allow them that here. So Stormstormer scouting.
Smashers, it feels like they're, that window, it's starting to close pretty quickly. This anti-mage, this troll, they're starting to get a bit too big. They have to keep pressing this forward, keep looking for these kills, keep playing around this Roshan, because Ana, he's gonna carry this game if they don't close it out very soon.
Rasmus throwing out that pit. Immediately the stomp forward, though, the initiation. Can they blow up Rasmus fast enough? A good heal coming out. Nice terrorize as well, but they've got the BKB over here on Ana, who's on the hunt. He does spy out Rasmus, trying to get off as much damage as possible. Pops that Manta, turns back around the side. Can they kill him? Yes. They'll take down Rasmus. That's one form of lockdown that is removed now from this fight. Two, technically, when you count the Atos. Buyback now. They're not happy about this.
The Tomb's almost gone, too. Like, that's a big window. That's a big thing for Smasher's fight that they're not going to have available.
Smash is going down very, very quickly. Nice stomp coming out on Seb. Over onto 2 immediately, and there's going to be the Stampede. They're trying to run away. Rasmus over here on the corners, trying to split it up. There it is. There's the Chaotic Offering. So they go in. Rasmus trying to man fight. He's trying to get something, trying to get the final hit off, and he does manage. It's going to be Rasmus grabs the Aegis. And now Disarm over here, over onto Ana. The disruption coming out, though. Might buy him enough time, but they have the Root following up with the Meatball. They'll be able to take down Ana. Thompson already falling during this fight. Smashers.
They got Aegis and Cheese. They only got the shard on the anti-mage. A huge fight from Smashers, just pushing into the pit.
My God. Seb trying to do what he can here, trying to just cut this wave. Stormstormer doesn't have a whole heck of a lot of mana on him. Again, does have Cheese. But this is the most that Seb can do right now. They still have a creep wave, though.
Oh, it's
Tofu's
huge.
Oh, jeez.
It's 60 seconds now, and they were all, the scary things too, they were all 5-man Fatal Bonded again in that fight, but they just ran into the pit and got on top of the anti-mage, and they get the steal. Rasmus, quick fingers. And a deafening blast from Stormstormer, just the pushback. That was so clutch. That was beautiful.
I want to know what the comms sounded like during that fight. I imagine they were absolutely wild, but again, initiation, the step back and forth here. Tofu chasing them down along here with Rasmus. They even get the whip out there trying to keep Soxa alive, and they just can't seem to do it. They're diving a little bit hard here over on the side of Smashers.
They don't have a creep wave. The creeps still aren't quite here. The back door kicked in.
Buy them a little bit more time. This is all they need. They're grouped very tightly together. They have to be careful of Seb jumping on in. Damage is coming out, though. Getting those Fatal Bonds. Only Gilger, I think, not affected over here. Another tornado tossed out. Thompson doing what he can, trying to push them back. Ana's going to be up in a couple seconds here. Rasmus starting up the car, getting that engine nice and warm and running as they will leave. But the damage is done.
Nice play. Yeah, that was a really scary moment for the side of Hellbear Smashers, but they do succeed with this push-up and just honestly getting into the Roche pit. If Ana gets an Aegis there, completely different game on their hands.
All right, we've got the Bloodthorn online now here for Ace. So if Ana uses that Manta too early.
He had to use BKB versus the clone. That's this Smashers, I think with this you smoke immediately. There's no BKB on AM. You go look for this fight. They're going to do it.
They do get the Ag Scepter online now for Centaur. Be able to reduce some of that damage, but hunt is on. They're scanning. They're hoping that they'll get their hands on an anti-mage who's farming, but they're grouped up pretty tightly over here on the side of OG. Ana hiding in the tree line. Rasmus Smoke breaking, gets the pit off immediately. Can they follow it up? Can they keep him in place for long enough? The silence, tossed right back in again. Tried to go up with that Terrorize. And they just immediately recede back into the base.
Yeah, timer has been almost missed. There's still 30 seconds left for the BKB timer, though. Stormstormer, he's showing himself. Ooh.
Rest of the team is nearby. Ana has to be careful here. Blinking out. Stomp coming out from Seb, landing over onto Rasmus. Tofu taking a lot of damage here. All the mana is basically used. They'll go up with the Chaotic Offering, and they get some of those. Oh, the meatballs tossed out here by Stormstormer, but they're just dodging away a little bit too much. Ana disarmed over onto the back lines. BKB will come out as they're going to try to fight with Dobson over on the side. Force Staff coming forward here, trying to keep Soxa. Soxa's not looking too healthy over in the back lines. So Stormstormer will fall. Seb trying to run away, and again, that's the BKB. It's back up and running. They're just going and trying to cut him down. Ace, he's man fighting as best as he can, but will eventually fall. Tofu also falling. Rasmus, he's back up. That age has already been burned. This is not looking good for him as he's the next one to fall. And somehow Seb surviving during all of that.
The Ag Stampede really coming into play. That extra little damage reduction, but mostly, even though they have this Aegis, we see the power of the Anti-Mage. These resets and repositionings, and also the Tomb dies instantly at the start of the fight on the high ground. They just all focus fire it, and then they just get some great resets.
Look at
Stormstormer.
chaos.
He gets the BKB off in a pretty clutch moment because he was going to get insta-mana voided there. But look at everyone's mana. Look at everyone just bound up together on the side of Smashers, kind of panicking, running around. And then you see these two. Topson, as well as Ana, just the follow-up with Seb. They have it perfectly to get on top of Ace. And that just might be it.
Yeah, there is, oh, jeez. That's rough. Yeah, they just walk into the base. They don't have buyback. Although, we are going to have Stormstormer back up Ace soon as well. So perhaps they can, throw out some tornadoes, try to push them off. But it's, looking rough now here.
Yeah, Anti-Mage is fully hitting his stride. This is why we were saying, like, there's just no stuns versus him. Like, on a couple, did get picked off the 1, 2, 3 times, but it's an Anti-Mage game to win when it gets to these stages. If Smashers isn't itemizing like hexes and a lot of different ways to actually control him, this AM is going to just completely win this matchup, as we have seen now in these last 2 fights. If he is able to actually get on top of the Arc Warden, poor Ace just can't do much about it.
Do you think Ace should have gone something a little bit harder for lockdown instead of the Bloodthorn? I know he's got to be the primary damage dealer, though.
I don't know. Like they have the Atos and stuff like that, but it's this draft that that's why the Anti-Mage is picked, is because he's into such limited disables. Like Stormstormer felt he needed BKB, or he just might kill his whole team with Mana Void, which it's appropriate.
That makes sense for sure.
Now OG feeling very strong. MKB also on the Anti-Mage, so he's got the way to just eat the Arc Warden now. Much easier.
Look at this positioning. They've got the Chaotic Offering up in just a couple seconds. Seb looking for the opening. We'll get the jump immediately over onto Tofu. They're going to blow him up. Lotus coming out here as Ana backing out. Again, this is the kind of chaos that we like to see coming out from OG. A little poke here, a little poke there. Back off, reset. Although Ana goes right onto the back lines. He blows up Ace. And there it is. There's the Chaotic Offering just going to town over here. The cleave damage is too much. Rasmus next to fall. They took out the Tempest double. Tofu have bought back here. Seb waiting patiently. Stormstormer does have a nice deafening blast. We'll push them back just a little bit. Trying to stack up some of that poison, get the vision. They do not have their carry. They do not have their big tanky frontliner either. Over here on the side of Hellbear Smashers, the meatballs tossed off. There's the BKB coming out here now. Stormstormer, he just can't run away fast enough. Topson has too much damage as Tofu running back into the base. Buyback now from Stormstormer. Gilgear using that Terrorize, just going to try to push back Ana for a little bit, but it's going to be coming right back in again. I don't know what you do on the side of Smashers here.
You lose, Moxie. That's what happens. I mean, Anti-Mage, it really is. It's such a big timing thing. Like Smashers, they did such a good job of pressuring most of this game, but this Anti-Mage was just getting a bit too much, and the rest of the heroes were also still having pretty okay games on the side of OG.
Stormstormer, he's trying pretty gosh darn hard, but they have the detection, the stop, the double edge. Tofu's trying to keep him alive, but he just can't do it. As they go and they just chew up that tombstone. Got some more of these heroes back alive, turns around, they get the root off over onto 3, but where's your damage? Where's your Ace? He's not here just yet. All right, the Bedlam comes out here over onto No-Tail. They won't be able to get that kill, but Rasmus next falling yet again. As you can see over on the back lines, OG, they've had enough. They're ready to just go to sleep or maybe play some pubs. I'm not sure. As Thompson just whirling around with those axes. Ace is up. He's trying to man fight him over here on the side. But, you know, while this is going down, the creeps, they're hitting the buildings. The heroes are hitting the buildings. They're waiting. They've got a bubble. Buys them just a little bit of time again. But they just can't seem to get OG to leave their base. Just bubbles on bubbles and circles everywhere here, Fogged. Ana, he just wants to finish this up. They're hiding over in the back lines. They get the idea they can see Ace, and it doesn't even matter. There goes the Ancient, and OG take the series.
Oh, it was a good attempt from Smashers. I think they did a lot of good things in this one. They did stick to their guns as well, too, which I'm happy. You know, Stormstormer playing his Invoker, Ace playing that Arc Warden, but this game, it was an inevitable defeat. If you don't get these super successful team fights, if you don't get this, like this Aegis and Cheese on the right hero, maybe if they have it on the Arc Warden, after all that stuff comes down, they do have one more shot, but you could just feel that ticker. You know, that timer was just ticking the whole time, waiting for this anti-mage to just be able to just get on top of the Arc Warden and on top of that Invoker. The matchups, the core matchups in particular, are just way too good for that anti-mage as the later game does approach.
Now, Smashers, they gave it their best shot for sure, but when you have that much of a lack of lockdown, or at least hard lockdown, it just becomes such an easy game for anti-mage. So, you know, sometimes, you know, you just get last pick anti-mage. It happens, but definitely, you know, nice game coming out from Hellbear Smashers, but of course, OG are going to take the series 2-1.
We have a soundboard! Also, yes, OG won the series. We'll talk about that after the break! game was pretty even for the most part. We did have Hellbear Smashers taking a little bit of a lead at some point, but then this fight that we just watched the highlight of was, well, that was already a little bit of the end. The Roche fight was probably the beginning of the end for Hellbear Smashers, but the end was definitely coming as OG takes game 3, therefore the series, and Hellbear Smashers will still be on the board with Big 0 in front of their score, because even though they can't take games off of everyone, can't take a series off of anyone yet. OG can, though, and they prove it here. I'm here with Cap and BSJ. We're going to break the game down. What was the main factor that OG could get away with such greed, Cap?
Well, first of all, they already knew that Hellbear Smashers had some greed themselves, right? Like, any Arc Warden lineup is naturally going to trend a bit slower. It's not going to be able to be banging down your barracks by 25 minutes. I think that played a certain part in their decision to be able to go for the Anti-Mage, but it was also just a really good Anti-Mage game.
Yeah.
I think in some ways OG looked at that and was just like, okay, it's a good enough Anti-Mage game that we're just going to have to find a way to hold on, because guaranteed this will carry us for sure. Ana will carry with an Anti-Mage pick against this lineup. I mean, we saw with the last Mana Void, it's like, yeah, it's really effective.
It was super effective. That's the first thing I thought of.
Brian just stares at me. He's just staring at me, and I'm just like,
Hey,
I hope Brian's gonna have a really good thought here.
There's absolutely no proof that I was doing that.
Ours doesn't work very
It's
well.
on camera.
No, it wasn't. So what I was going to say about this game is that I really do feel like the clutch factor was what came into play. I think straight up that both teams could have won this game past 30 minutes in, and it really came down to who makes the game-winning team fight execution and plays. And I think both teams are clearly executing around the map, like how we can't really chase this anti-mage on the side of Hellbear Smashers, so we just have to keep forcing it bottom lane, keep forcing a response, Ana doing the whole split pushing thing in the meantime. But then eventually, OG, I don't know, this is what they're known for. They're going to find that one fight that wins them the game. And that game was in favor of Hellbear Smashers for like 15 minutes in a row. And then suddenly, it's a 16K net worth lead 3 minutes later and the game's over.
Yeah, was it just a tipping point that was waiting to happen? Because, yeah, we're saying it was a great anti-mage game, but Arc Warden is not powerless.
Yeah,
in a late
you
game.
have your own BKB, you can man fight an anti-mage. Like, honestly, with all the backup he has, the Willow, counter initiation, but they just missed a couple spells, didn't fight. Like, what happened in that last fight was anti-mage was able to blink on the high ground, kill the tombstone instantly, and what's been winning them the fights, that combined with the terrorize, crowd control, and DOT just wasn't there, and
yeah,
that's the difference maker.
Tofu had a sick game for the most part. Like, he was really playing quite well on that Undying. That being said, the other fight position, Warlock was super impactful in that last game. Fatal Bonds is insanely good, especially if we're trending towards this tank meta. I think you're right, Brian. I think you want to see more Warlock.
Man, Warlock's broken.
Yeah. I mean, either that or there needs to be a new item in the shop that can get rid of Fatal Bonds. Otherwise, everybody's just going to be forced to
Whoa. It hasn't been a Warlock meta in quite some time.
I think the Warlock meta should come to an end already. And maybe Saxa can shine some light on that too. Hey, Saxa, congratulations on the series.
Thank you.
What do you think of Warlock?
Seems like a pretty good hero right now, I would say. Yeah.
Does it need to be nerfed yet? Or can it continue on for a little bit longer?
I don't think it's that broken yet, but I mean, the hero seems good. It's still like early days. I would say just need to see more. Like, we'll wait a bit for a few weeks and then we'll see.
More Fatal Bonds. I hear you. I have a question regarding your in-game communication. With Ana's name officially being Humble God, is he asking everybody on the team to call him Humble God? Are you forced to call Ana Humble God? And does he wish to be called Humble God?
Yes, we are forced to call him a Humble God.
Yikes.
Like, it's registered in the, in the DPC. He's not going to be able to change that name. He knows that, right?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I think they were talking about changing it, but I don't know if it's possible.
I don't think it is.
Was that part of his demands coming back to the team? He's like, I'll only come back if you guys all refer to me as Humble God from here on out.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said, actually.
Word for word.
I believe all of this.
Yeah, me too, without a doubt. Saxa, that last game, the anti-mage coming out as a 10th pick, what made you guys go for that final anti-mage pick? What made that a perfect game for an AM?
I mean, all their heroes like Undying, Arc Warden, Invoker, like all these heroes, they don't really do much to AM, Bitlord too. So it's like it just seemed like a free AM game. He could like farm for like as long as he wanted. We would make the space, and then yeah, it's easy game.
Easy game. Yeah.
So I don't know how to ask this question, but I just need to ask it. So a lot of people say like OG has this unique energy, and since you've joined, there's been several people who've been tried out at the position 1. Do you feel like a significant difference in like the energy of the team now that Anna's back compared to the rest of the time you've played on the team?
Yeah, I would say like before maybe it was a bit more stressful at times, but now it's like when we play good, it's like the atmosphere is chill. Like everybody thinks with clarity, looks at the map and whatever. Like there's no like stress, I would say. Now like more so than before. And
you think Anna is a large part of that, or do you think it's just like the team dynamic between him and everyone else?
I mean, he's like a guy that doesn't talk much. He doesn't take too much space in the team, so it's like there's a lot more space for people to talk and like, or not talk or whatever. And yeah, sometimes you just see him like run in, like not say anything, and he's like into 5 heroes. So yeah, there's that.
Fair enough. As long as you're close enough to get I don't know, disruption on him if he needs it. Able to save his bum.
All right, Saksa, I wanted to ask you about your hero pool. I noticed a trend right now. It seems like 4 positions. We're going a lot into these ranged 4 positions, more spellcaster types. And I feel like that's kind of your wheelhouse. I was looking at your Dota buff, and you've got like, when it comes to professional matches anyway, of like top 10 of the 4 positions you played the most, like 8 of them are like ranged spellcasters. Are you happy with this current meta? Do you feel like it fits you well?
I mean, I would say yes and no. I feel like for this team, actually, I feel like playing the melee force is better. But I feel like the way this patch is right now, like almost all of the melee force are bad. Like they all got nerfed and stuff. Like almost all of them are bad. Like it's only like Earth Spirit is kind of semi-decent, but everything like Clock, Tusk, Shaker, they've been also nerfed. So you don't really see them too much in games. So yeah, that's why these ranged supports are now in meta.
So, to be clear, you said that you feel like melee 4s are better for OG? Like, as for the team-wise, you guys feel like you play better with those?
Yeah, I feel like more so for the dynamic between like me and Thompson, like being able to run early, check runes, and like being able to help him out early on is better for OG. But yeah, I definitely enjoy playing the rage supports a lot.
Okay, cool.
Saksa, I would like your unbiased opinion on a series we have tomorrow. It's gonna be Team Secret versus Alliance, so team that won previous DPC season versus the team that's doing best so far in the current season. What's your read on that best of 3?
I mean, I feel like Secret, they haven't been looking too hot lately. I don't know what it is, but it just kind of looks like that. And Alliance, yeah. I mean, they've been looking really good these past few months, like the first DPC season and this one too. Like, I don't know why, but they just choked on land. That I think they should have done a lot better. And I feel like it's going to go like probably in Alliance's way, I would say.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your insight. I know it's late. We're going to let you go. Congratulations, of course, again on the series, and we'll talk to you again another time.
Thank you, and have a good night.
Thank you, same to you. And yeah, OG with winning the series. They're now 2-1. We can take a look at the standings. They are joining a couple of other teams that are also 2-1 as the beefy middle pack continues. OG, Liquid, Secret, all 2-1. Reminder, I mean, in case anybody forgot, top 4 makes it to Major, with the 3rd and 4th place making it to the wildcards. 2nd place directly to group stage, 1st place directly to playoffs. So that is what is at stake, and of course top 4 is the important part where you should be, and everybody that's bottom 4 is very sad, including Hellbear Smashers who haven't won a series yet. You know what?
But they take it a game every time.
T-Governor said that there is a high chance that Hellbear Smashers will take a game off of everyone they face, but will not take a series ever.
That's a yikes from a former coach.
Yeah,
He
that's
said there's
the
a
worst place
chance.
to be. You're so close.
Yeah.
But then you won't even be able to get the chance to prove yourself because you're going to get kicked down to lower division. You're just going to have to stomp everybody there again.
Which one's this?
It does make it really fun. It's nice because, you know, it's originally you look at that upper division of season 1 and you're like, oh man, we have to lose 2 of these teams. Like, we really have to send Viking GG down to lower division. Like, who's really going to replace them that's going to look as good, as competent. And it turns out that Hellbear Smashers and Brame have both shown that they can definitely compete with all of these teams. So great stuff. Second season, super hype.
Yeah, it really is. And the hype does not stop. I mean, it continues tomorrow. We just asked Sax about it as well, about series tomorrow. That's going to be super exciting. And he does say that Team Secret is looking not as hot as Alliance right now. So that is definitely the case. You can see it here. It's the medium meal pack. We got a nice sandwich. Nice attempt, Brian. Thank you. Nice sandwich of lower division and upper division tomorrow. So we're starting things off with the Chicken Fighters versus Into the Breach. And then we have Alliance versus Team Secret in the upper division. And we're closing things off with the lower division where Ghost Frogs is facing a bounty hunter.
What
was the
I was trying to come out the other side.
Oh, well, good stuff.
You know, it's 1 a.m. What can you do?
I pressed the button and it worked.
Yeah.
I tried pressing the button the whole time while you were talking. Didn't do anything.
Yeah, you were trying to interrupt me.
Will this one stop at any point?
No. The
drum roll.
suspense just keeps building.
Wait, how do I stop it?
And building. And building.
Perfect.
Great. Sorry. We're going to have a lot of fun with this one. And, well... Jesus, leave it to
I feel like I'm in the Muppets. I feel like I'm in the Muppets right now.
All right, but that was enough for today. We've had a very long day. We had some great Dota 2 played, very entertaining stuff happening here. And we hope for the same thing coming your way tomorrow. But there's only one way to find out if it's going to be just as entertaining tomorrow. It's by tuning in. We're starting at the same time as we did today, and that would be 2:30 p.m. CEST. There you go. We'll hope to see you all there for more Dream League Season 15, powered by Intel.